freaking door into 79s, Joey. We're waiting at 79s. It's not crossing, so we won't get the print. Let's pack the patience there. I can definitely use this. I can use my trailing stop. There it goes, Joey, into 81s. Now we're waiting at 82s on the open one. Shout out to OpenDoor. We're going to throw in 88s over here. Shout out to the Eric Jackson. Hilarious. I can't believe this guy actually showed up every day to Drake's. I thought he stopped doing it because we stopped talking about it, but apparently he's showing up every day and he's doing his videos.
Tell me you have a lot of money on something without telling me.
Yeah, I know.
You have
His
a
kid
lot of
actually
money.
came up with it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you gotta do this every day till Drake buys it.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't think Drake's gonna buy it.
Drake ain't buying it. I don't
think he's gonna buy it.
You know.
All right, man. It is yes, it is 2:01:15. And the big boys are locked and they're loaded and they're ready to go. We're going to send you over to them. I'll see everybody shortly.
Stop bleeding, Bitcoin. Jeez.
Or at the big desk.
Bitcoin's 105.5. Was it higher? It must have been higher.
It got a little bit higher than that. Welcome, everybody. I was just actually listening. Oh, whoops. Oh, it's my mic is just bad. I'm mic in the static. I don't know what's up with that. I was just listening to clips and grinding, not Pharrell. I actually forgot that Pharrell Williams was all over that video. But because the market's grinding higher, and Joe mentioned it, that's a hot track from when when we were young.
Yep.
Like that was university for us, man, we're old. But the market is absolutely grinding. I don't know why I have a chart of QUBT up. I'm sure it'll come to me in a second. I bet you somebody mentioned it. Probably Joe was like, or Sharif was talking about it. OpenDoor is up 18%. That's absolutely flying, but the market recovery is the jam. We go up, we go down, we go round and round. It's weird, I'm only in like Rivian to the south side for now, but realistically, like this market has been impressive to say the least. Because we were saying this earlier, like if this is the dip, if this was the dip, there'd be a lot of disappointed people out there. If this was the only dip that we ended up getting. Because it wasn't that much of one. Like what did we actually drop from the high? I think 40 bucks on the Qs, like 6%, maybe 6 and a change on the Qs. So like it feels like we're not out of the water yet, but we're out of the water today, that's for sure. And Wells Fargo, October delivery data for Tesla shows weakness. Yeah, Tesla's under VWAP. That's like one of the few things that it's not really doing that well. Underneath the volume weighted average price there, Tesla. I'm oddly enough in Rivian on a reversion, and that's Blue Ocean. So we'll see like what this afternoon brings us. We've already had the push to the highs and break down to the lows and back to the highs. I don't think this market's got another one of those in it. I just think you're a little bit too strong for it not to end green today, but we'll see.
Yeah. So when we left you, we were short. And we got exactly what we needed all the way down into here, 109.50 off of a 112. So shout out to Erie Pages and everybody else that was doing this short on the futures. And then we tried to go short again at VWAP. Once it didn't work, we just went long. So we flipped it right on its head again and then went to short there. So pretty happy with the way we performed here today on this one. Early, too short early. We worked through this together. And then down it goes all the way back upside right now. So we're just holding on to this long that we have right here out of break of VWAP. So tried it, broke it. You know, we had talked about doing these kind of plays, and this is something that we've done numerous times. And we did it even on Palantir on Friday where it broke and it just kept on going near the end of the day. So I just was like, you know what? These futures, basically same kind of ways, man. Like on Friday, it was Palantir broke basically right into here, broke higher and just kept on going the rest of the afternoon. And expecting something similar right now with the futures. But wow, Palantir up 9% today. What a good, unfortunately my boat's still pretty full in Palantir, but I didn't buy more of that one on Friday, that is for sure, as that one keeps going higher. I didn't think it had 9% in it today, but there it goes. And the story today is also a battle back in gold. I know Neil was looking at silver earlier today, but there goes gold up another 2.5%. And I say another, it was beat up just a little bit here on the daily chart, fell right back into 4,000, roughly 350, 360 here. And I was waiting just a little lower at 350, never got to fill, unfortunately, but that's okay. Nice battle back there for that. And then, Yeah, haven't been really looking too much elsewhere. Like Apple was a recent buy, not really performing that well considering, well, it is on the daily, but only up 0.7 today, 270. So kind of like that, where that stock is looking. Boeing still underneath 200. We recently bought some at 200, so we'll see if that can get going again for the long term as well. But yeah, IBIT today, it's right where we started the show. I feel like I looked down and it was at 105, 106 when this day started. So yeah, I guess a little bit higher, probably around 106. So we are underneath and just trying to bounce off VWAP. So this could be in play here this afternoon as well. But yeah, welcome everybody. We're going to go through the rundown. We'll talk about all the names that you guys want us to talk about.
Got some earnings after?
Yeah, then we'll have some fun. Yeah, I didn't even look at the earnings.
We got, you know what, it's a more busy name than you would think. You got CoreWeave,
okay.
You got CoreWeave, BBAI, Rigetti's going to be Oxy.
Oh, that's right. Well, we knew BBAI. Well, I think SoundHound maybe.
Beyond Meat's supposed to, but like, remember Beyond Meat moved their earnings to today, so we think that they'll report tonight. Right. You never really know with a company that might be here, might not be. Ooh, shout out to Molfar in the chat saying Lulu is going. I didn't look at Lulu today.
Mofo?
Oh, but you know, let's do this right now before we even get into the. Let's refresh this now to give other stocks a chance. Because the visualizer was like a very. Man, it was just an open and Palantir show this morning. It's nice to see that some other ones were catching up. I'm just gonna start this. So the afternoon show has a new one. I will go $. Let's pick a random stock.
Do IBIT.
Oh, IBIT? Okay.
Why not? Yeah.
Sure, why not?
People want to talk crypto.
Yeah. Why not?
It does go on there, I think.
It does. I just typed IBIT right there.
There
right here. Boom. Bam. Joe's like, IBIT doesn't go on here. It's because not enough people type. But I think the issue with IBIT is people are probably just as likely to type like BTC, unfortunately. So like if someone says Bitcoin, someone puts in the chat BTC, then, you know, IBIT's not going to stand a chance, which that's kind of unfair. I kind of... Yeah, there's not much you can do about it.
It's not unfair. I mean, this is the rules of the game.
But no one
put the symbol in.
You never see QQQ or SPY on there, right? People will talk about the market. People talk about the market all the time. Yeah. Just you're unlikely to put the ETF.
Rivian up 8 or 9% today as well. Going for 52-week highs.
Yeah, you know what? This trend break on Rivian is breaking.
Oh, you're in Rivian. Are you in Rivian? Oh,
it's like trend breaking again. So I'm in Rivian for this.
1660.
There. So like there's the trend break on Rivian. This was me shorting it, hoping it would get to VWAP. Lots of buyers on the first couple of steps. Like each bounce, I took some out. I probably should have taken some out 16.3. Rivian is on one for Randy. Or, I mean, I guess anybody that holds shares. I mean, it's not specifically only for Randy to make money, but these prior highs, this is a nonsense candle. Obviously, it's kind of like a dark pool candle in here. The prior high was like 16, call it 15, 16, 20, something in that range. Kind of hoping we get down to that before bouncing. Did not get that close. I don't want this getting back above the 50. I'm going to trail this. Super strong name. I want it to get down to the 1620. That's a big level on the daily. And we'll hunt for some opportunities this afternoon. As we said, there are some actual earnings names to look at. And, ooh, Hertz Scrambler, Lilly breaking. 1,000 today, maybe?
Look at the future.
No, it's breaking down. Oh, don't jinx me. I thought maybe Lilly was breaking up.
No, yeah, it's kind of strange because the market's now at 2%. We're going to take another piece out right here for everybody that's trading the TQs or the Qs with me, Salvador. Yeah, we're just back to highs. That was the best trade that we had gotten. Okay, there we go. We just get 14s. So we got some out at the 50 period as it tends to drift a little bit higher right now. So all good there. Yeah, man, Google's up at 290 again. Like, there's just some of these names. And whenever you get dip downs in the market, I mean, regardless of if that was a buying opportunity, you know, one day doesn't make like a mistake, you know, oh my God, I missed the bottom. But it's just, this is just another huge name. Like the amount of market cap that was added even today on a 4% move up, it's just like they had a great quarter. They got hit back down into 270, 280. Like these are the ones you should be buying, right? We're throwing play money at things like SMR and things like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, this name could be up or down 15 or 20% tomorrow. You don't want to make or break, you know, your investments on these kind of plays. You know, buy something that has some kind of value as far as beating on there. You know, it's like if you could go into a classroom and you see a whole bunch of kids in there and there's this group of kids that are always getting straight A's, right? You know, if all of a sudden they drop down and the whole school is like, I don't know, gets some sort of a universal test or something on them, and the school doesn't do that well and sort of starts to downgrade, well, you know what? The kids that are always getting the A's, they're going to return and start getting those marks again. And it's just, I feel like similarly with these stocks, you always want to be betting on the best stocks, and they'll continue to perform well. I mean, we all got to do our homework to try to find them. But like tonight, you're going to get some answers with Rigetti. You mentioned that they were reporting here tonight. So let's just see if some of our CoreWeave, Rigetti, BBAI, like Rocket Labs, Beyond Meat, like some of these names that are reporting tonight, let's see if they have any goods. And then if Rigetti can perform well, then you can buy it on the way back up, because this was like head of the class basically on the way up, not just Rigetti, but all these quantum names. And now they're getting hit back down, similarly to some of these metal names and our MP metals, some of the rare earth metals.
I just don't know what Rigetti can report. Like what?
No, neither do I. Neither do I. But
what could they report? Apple? Yeah, Apple just kind of. Apple just broke down here. You know what? I just realized I didn't hear anything in my ear just now.
No, neither did I.
So we're looking for a headline here on Apple. Apple with a heavy $3 candle, but right back up to the top. Oh, please let. I don't ever want anybody to get rinsed, but I'm telling you, like if we break out the high after this, it's already back to where it was before. So I heard nothing. We heard nothing in our ear. I don't see a story. Imagine somebody fat-fingered. Ooh, that would suck.
Well, did we actually?
I'm just gonna restart.
See it go down that far?
I didn't see it. Joe yelled it. Yeah, but it looks pretty legit.
Oh yeah,
It looks pretty legit. I mean, I can look at a 5-second.
It's probably that Gemini thing. Remember we got that bullshit report from Bloomberg.
Could be.
You know that we thought it was a real deal. Holyfield.
That's real. Look at how fast they bought this back. On a 5-second, look at this second wick.
That just shows you the algos.
The algos are like, let's buy the living you-know-what out of this when it goes to upside. So we're ready for the rundown. If we hear anything concrete on Apple, we'll let you guys know. But obviously, it didn't take very long to buy that thing.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, everyone. The show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers right there is to get into the chat and vote for your favorite ticker every day. It's super simple. Throw in that $sign followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires. Let's look at all four major averages to start, and the NQ certainly leading the way here. Right back into day's highs, guys. 25,682, up over 2%. The NQ really rocketing up after that afternoon buy on Friday. Still below 6,900 though is the ES, but closing in on that 6850 resistance level. It is also quite close to the day high and up over 1/3%. The Dow, the worst performing major average on the day, above 47,400, but up 0.17, and the Russell 2000 trying to work its way back into 2,500. It is up 1.29%. The first ticker, though, as decided by you, OpenDoor. What a move up to the tune of 19.5%. Several different headlines to get to. The first is a price target upgrade by Keefe, Bruyette, and Woods from $1 to $2. Good look there. Separately, you also had Morgan Stanley saying OpenDoor's major transformation is underway with 2026 break even in sight. Good look today for OpenDoor.
So we got the news. Yeah, I mean, the story is just that Apple's delaying the release of one of their phones. I don't know exactly which phone it is. I just went short here just in case. Oh, they're delaying the release of their next iPhone Air, I think it is. Yeah, so I'm just going to play this 200 period, man, 269.50. If we run that, then we'll get out. Just a small little trade here. Just looking to see if it breaks this little level right there. We're punching in late to the story, obviously, as we saw that move down. And then the good thing about it is it's continuing with a little bit of volume. So I don't think this is anything to worry too much about. I mean, this is a report. I don't know who's reporting this.
The information.
The information. Okay, well, I need some more information then, because right now we're going to go short. We're just going to play it. Like, if we can get something out near that wick, would be 75. Looking to get a little more short against basically 269.50. That was kind of that drop zone right there. It's actually 269, like 66 or so. Worth it. We'll stop out if it goes. You know, if this story is real and it hits the mainstream media, and the story is real, but we'll see where it goes. We keep on talking about OpenDoor at $7. Now, you would have had to, you know, withstand, let's see, how low did it go? 550, yeah. So, you know, obviously as the market gets hit there the last couple of days, yeah, the Trader TV Live Academy, by the way, we're really excited about that. When that starts to launch, you're gonna see something different than anything else you've seen in the market. But right here, so OpenDoor bouncing off of 7 right there. I mean, I like that. You did have to withhold that. I don't know if you ever really want to get out immediately when you drop back in, but I could see some traders that would have maybe got stopped out on that kind of a move back up and missed this. But I think as long as you now try to play off 7 and we don't worry too much about, you know, the disaster of this market falling all over itself, then, you know, we've got a lot of rinsed out trades that happened on Thursday and Friday, and it looks like OpenDoor was just kind of one of those. So now it's going to hold $7. I think you can sort of use this little gap here as maybe a wedge, but 650 to 7 in and around here is where I'm looking to get long. And then, you know, where we closed, that is 650. I think we would dump it if it ever got in too much trouble below that. So I really like OpenDoor up another 20% today. The short float's still there. And yeah, we look forward to hearing more about this story in the upcoming days. But again, look, it kind of bounces off 730 there one more time. So I think anything around 7, you take it for 50 cents, right? If it breaks 650, you're out. Otherwise, you sit around and wait to see. But Apple's going back upside. We did average into it, so it looks like we'll probably get stopped out as Apple just continues to climb a little higher here. We're short at 269.12s. So take a 50-cent hit here, it looks like.
Before we continue, shout out to Rivian Millionaire. Thank you for the super chat. Sean Neal, I've been watching you guys since 2023. Awesome. That's a couple of years in. I hope you stick around longer than that. You taught us psychology. Sean taught me levels. Adair is the best source of news. That's all we're ever trying to do. Joey's teaching us options around here. Sharif is going on those small cappers. But you know what the cool thing is? You can see it on screen. You can stay tuned because you guys have watched this for a long time, and people always ask us, okay, well, how do you trade on this platform? What's the platform you guys are using? How did you guys learn? Well, the Trader TV Academy is coming soon. So make sure that you stick around, make sure you're liked and subscribed, you're following our socials, because there are going to be updates when this is launching to be able to learn the same methods that we were taught when we were starting out on the same platform that we use, to be able to get those basics, depending on where, no matter where you are in your journey, beginner, intermediate, there's a little bit of something for everybody. That's the Trader TV Academy. As we said, stay tuned for further details out there. And we hope something you guys will be very excited for, because we absolutely are. And I know there's traders that love this OpenDoor stuff. I was trying to listen to the, I guess Eric Jackson was on the, what was it? I forget, the Compound. That's what it was. Yes. So I was listening to the first 20 minutes. I didn't get through the whole thing, so I was kind of wrapped up in a couple of other things. But it's interesting stuff. But what was interesting is the stuff that they meant. The stuff that was the most interesting is when they actually were talking about all these private companies and how long they're taking to go public, as opposed to the OpenDoor. I found that conversation really interesting. But OpenDoor, I think, like, I missed an opportunity to trade it off of. I liked the $7 level. That was my only trade off of it into 750. But then it just started going a different level off of that 750. And what's crazy about this is it's got a very clean $8 break this afternoon. The high is $7.99.5, so the half print is the highest. I think there's an $8 break incoming. If we get 750 again, I think there's a dip into 750. But I think there's an $8 break, which is worth taking a shot at this afternoon. You know, that's one heck of an offsize for the earnings shorts. You know, they looked like they were winning, and then it was just an absolute rocket ship to the upside. I think breaking out that 8, even just for a scalp trade into the quarter, and then see what happens for this afternoon. So let's jump in. Well, we'll see. I mean, if it breaks, it breaks. I might even consider, if there's a good solid dip buy that I can grab, like that one, going into 8. I'd like to be in this one again. And it was a high flyer, just like the next name on the list.
Ooh. Here's the information on Apple, guys. So they're delaying the release of next year's version of the iPhone Air, the thinnest smartphone ever, after the first model sold below expectations, according to 3 people involved with the matter. The information is Wayne Ma and Kainer Liu report. Although the length of the delay remains uncertain, the product won't be released in the fall of 26 as previously planned. They said Apple has already sharply scaled back production of the first version, according to people with direct knowledge of the matter. That is what's being reported by the information. I'm still trying to get the actual article itself rather than looking through a summary. Let's go on to the next topic, though. Palantir at near day's highs. 195 or thereabouts is a day high. Shares are trading higher amid a broader market rebound after the Senate leaders approved a deal clearing the path to end the U.S. government shutdown. Of course, Palantir, the recipient of multiple government contracts.
What's interesting is it's not like Palantir was getting hurt because of the shutdown, you know. But at the same time, it doesn't matter why. Sometimes like a bull moves just need reasons to go up. The same way, like you make a high because of, you know, it could be Michael Burry. You can get this breakout because of the shutdown ending, I guess. But until we break 196, it feels like it got into the top end of the resistance, which it's at right now. One shot shorting it, fair enough. Didn't hold it long enough because it played it back into this high. But 196. Maybe tomorrow. I feel like OpenDoor breaking $8 is a higher probability than this happening this afternoon. But that's a heck of a gap fill for Palantir up to 9%. It just feels a little extended to be able to pull it on today. And even if it does, I don't know if I'd want to take it. It just feels like it's a little bit too high. So I'll take a shot at OpenDoor breaking, but not necessarily Palantir. Feels like tomorrow that might be a little bit better of a breakout if we can consolidate up that top and then make the run to 200 would be next. And then obviously, you know, some of those prior highs, like 208, 209. But he needs to get through that 196 and then all systems go. Like it just needed an excuse. Again, I don't necessarily believe that the shutdown potentially being averted should be that big of a catalyst for them given the circumstances. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't take much to catch a bid here.
No, Palantir's awesome, man. We had that huge trade with it on Friday afternoon when the market, we sort of heard this news about the possible shutdown ending and the government getting back to work. So we really like Palantir long, that is for sure. We just had, like Apple just went positive for us and we took out one piece, but that was it, man. It bounced basically off 10, which is where we're short. We're short at 13. So I feel like we are probably going to break it back above. We're going to get out of this thing, break 60s. We already told you that. So I feel like that story is now out for Apple. So remember, like when the story's out and people are trading off of it, you know, it either is going or it's not, and right now it's not going. So as the futures continue to go a little bit higher here, we are right now just taking more outs. Futures are at their day's high. We tweeted it out, man. We went short, then long, right there for the futures. So it's been good, but maybe topping out, which is part of this Apple story, right? It's going to be what it is for right now. What's up to Silverado Blue? Yeah, the Packers. This guy's from Wisconsin in Japan. He's saying tonight we have Packers v Eagles. So.
Did you say Packer fan from Japan? Is that what you?
He's in Japan. I think he's from Wisconsin. But,
oh,
yeah, visiting. So,
nice.
All right, yeah. So that's Apple. All right, yeah, Palantir. Look, I mean, this could be Burry covering, like you know, right there, right off the open. Like, you know, there's only so much. He was saying that 80% of his fund or something was short Nvidia and Palantir. Well, that might be good and all when they're getting crushed to the downside. You can't feel good about those positions today. And I'm not sure what the average price this guy has or whatever, but if you're just looking at a chart, I mean, we had thought that there was a capitulated moment there on Friday when we got right back into some of these down wicks around 170. My guess is you may be hearing a report right now that those shorts are probably covered or significantly covered. So that might be part of the move up here today because all of us together can't really figure out exactly why Palantir's up this much. I mean, we could throw out contracts and this and that. I think Adara had one that there was maybe a $6 million contract or something, but come on. You know, the market cap that this is right here shouldn't be up 9% on those kind of deals. But I guess the thinking here is that as we open the government back up, obviously there's a good little look here for Palantir and more contracts and more talk. So yeah, I like the stock, obviously. It's a little, I think it showed its true colors, right? And that is that the volatility can really be here if the market gives it up. So if you are nervous, there we go, we're out of Apple, by the way, it just continued to go higher, which is fine. We didn't put on a huge amount of risk there. If the market, if the market continues to go higher, then yeah, Palantir, that's the earnings top. We're basically right back to where we were earnings day. And then that blast off happened during earnings itself. So you got to get above 200. It seems like we want to get there. If tomorrow's a green day, we can probably open up above. So I like Palantir. I don't actually think that this little top wick, this is in jeopardy because I feel like the minute we get to 200, we probably go to see exactly where that supply is. So watch out here. You know, I am talking up my own book here. It might be the most, I mean, this might be the biggest name I hold now just by, you know, market cap of my portfolio might be mainly, you know, sufficed in Palantir. But right now, up to $200, that's the last spot that we got a little bit out. And I don't think we're going to now. We didn't buy that dip. Maybe next time at 175. Yeah, I think it was the next. I don't know, but Apple right there, just to let you guys know, like it rallied back higher. So we'll take a little bit there. We should have got it all out. And then there it is back to the 200 period. So I'm going to start to look at Apple now as if that story didn't exist, you know, because it doesn't seem to be moving the stock too much, unless I just got stopped at the top. But all right, Meta, another name that's rallying on today's 2% up move in the NASDAQ.
Kind of disappointed in Meta, though.
Oh, is it? Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, Sean, up 1 3/4. Not a bad day for Meta. A couple of different analyst notes on it. Let's start with the good one. We'll get to the bad one. Freedom Capital Markets upgrading Meta platforms to a buy and boosting that price target up to $80 past rating, or sorry, $800. My mistake. The past rating was hold. Separately, Areste Group downgraded Meta to a hold. No price target there given, but a couple of analyst notes, and Meta up 1 2/3, guys, above 630.
I don't like Erst, whoever that is. ERSTE trying to downgrade Meta. But you know what? Meta is, this is a disappointing 1.7%. Not just because the NASDAQ's up 2%, but just kind of look at it on a 15-minute here for Meta. Like you have this nice rounded bottom, and you're essentially just consolidating like Thursday's gap, like from here to there, without any secondary breakout, while the market's been like slowly grinding higher. So this, like, it was almost like it was following the market and then just stopped for the last 2 hours. Well, I don't know that I love that. It feels like this one might be rolling back in toward the low, and maybe Meta is just that penalty box that it's in. It could just be a little bit of that. I love the bottoming tail holding the 600 level. That's great. From a technical standpoint, like you're able to hold on to some of this support, close back above 620. But a little disappointing if the market continues higher and Meta doesn't break back at least to the high, then I'll be pretty disappointed in today, despite the fact that it looks like a good turnaround. It's just feeling like you might not be out of the water. I don't see a trade in this one for myself today. Like I'd still rather look at OpenDoor, maybe back into Rivian, or one of the chip names over Meta this afternoon.
Yeah, for some reason, like Meta got hit on their earnings because of their spend, and I think they're just like a couple headlines away or one headline away from like really rocking back up. I mean, just a matter of like if they can get a deal done somewhere for computing power. I don't know. I don't even know if they need to, but yeah, move down there. I saw yesterday watching, I think it was the Leaf game. There was a lot of ads for the Meta Oakley glasses. My kids didn't even really seem that excited about it, which was a little strange because they do love tech stuff. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think the glasses are it, man. And I just wonder about their move down and their move into that space, potentially spending a little bit too much money on R&D maybe, but I don't know. Meta just continues to be a great name that has created a lot of wealth, but has really given it back. And it's not like you're worried too much about it. There are many names that are down near April lows, but still breaking through the 200. I'm just going to go with Brian Shannon here and some of the thought that I have. I don't really want to buy this name until we get back above the 200 period moving average, right? If the market's due for a downturn, this stock is going to get clobbered. So I would just, hope that, it does get back up to 680. And then, I think you could buy with more aggression there. Like if you only buy, let's just say you buy, I don't know, a certain amount of shares down here, and then you don't buy, like, I don't know where your next buy is. Like, we could say I'm going to buy 25 here, 25 here, like all the way down, and then, hopefully it winds up holding that. But if that down doesn't happen, then this is going to look like a great spot to pick up a little bit now. But if you're going to really look to take an aggressive position in a stock, I don't think Meta has it right now. I think you'd like to at least see it break above the 200 period moving average on the daily. So like if I was really going to trade this and put some serious shares in the account, it wouldn't happen until we break above 680. So I'll probably relook at that, and sure, I'll be mad that I missed this down move of $50. But honestly, we're trying to play bigger, longer term, and I think that Meta dip buying at these levels is fine, but just be cautious that if the market does turn around, like Neil said, you're up 2% today, and Meta's only up 1.75. Yeah. When the market was down 2%, Meta was down like 5-6%, right? It was really getting hit there the last couple of days. So great dip buys on that name. That little profile there, that might be the bottom, like 60. Where is that? That got into 602. Like, I mean, crazy. Some of those lows that were made on some of these names. We'll see if we can see them again. But for right now, Meta continues higher, and the market looks like it wants to go too. So, congratulations.
Some people are cold-blooded in the chat. If someone just goes Storm J or no Stodge M, like Stoge M, Sean, can we remind Neil how much better the Dolphins are than the Bills? They're not. They just won
Yesterday, yeah.
They won a game. It happens. The Dolphins are still pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know what? Beyond Meat is probably up today. You think Beyond Meat's a good company?
Are they up today?
Well, I'm. A lot of things are up. I'm pretty sure Beyond.
Oh, you're relating Beyond Meat to Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Yes, I'm absolutely relating Beyond Meat to the Miami Dolphins. That's just that. And sometimes good stocks have down days too.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure there's something. Most things are up today. So I'm trying to think of a good stock that's down today. I actually can't think of one. But it happens. So I'm not happy about the Bills' loss. Really? Pissed off, man. But you know what? I'm kind of hoping we could fire our OC and then hire Dabble, who just got fired from the Giants.
Defense, I think.
Well, I think the offense has some issues too. The defense is a personnel thing. The offense needs some scheming. SoFi needs no help. They got it all.
Guys, SoFi is having a fantastic day. Look at that earnings day sell-off where we popped in at $31 almost there, Andre, right into 31 bucks and dropped all the way back down into about lower than 26.75. We have recovered that entire earnings sell-off and then some, up 9 1/3%. And there's also this other bullish headline, bullish call volume here, Joey. About 150,000 calls trading at 2 times the expected amount, and an implied volume increasing over 1 point to about 69.52%. The November 14th weekly $30 calls and the November 14th weekly $31 calls are the most active options, with a total volume in those strikes near 23,700 contracts. And the put call ratio, guys, 0.26.
Yeah, this is a beast. On the monthly chart here, this is in the midst of a pretty big breakout on the monthly, and this is the close above. We closed above the prior high on the monthly and now consolidating above it. So I think you got another leg higher here. Pretty sure at some point we did some kind of a measured move. I think kind of. I don't remember it was about $50. I think we came up with, or something like 48 to 50. If you just sort of looked at the math of where this could go on a breakout, Robinhood had a very similar breakout move, and I think that's what we were making the comparison to. Load here, like when Robinhood broke this out. Actually, this could be a turnaround on the monthly for Robinhood. That's worth watching. But SoFi seems like it's on that second move, at least for now. And while that's happening, there's not much standing in its way today. It's kind of slow. Open, I'd prefer that for a breakout trade. But as far as this, it's got a little bit of room till its next breakout. So you got some overhead resistance here, but it's a little choppy till it gets to 32. So I don't wonder if it doesn't slow down in here at 31, maybe pull back into the close. As long as it closes over 30, I think you're all good. And then we make a second move tomorrow. But for this afternoon, if I'm thinking something's breaking out the top, right now, OpenDoor at 8 seems more likely than a SoFi for now. But SoFi's structure looks fantastic. At this point, SoFi is looking better than Robinhood on the long-term chart, and maybe a little less. They're both frothy, but maybe a little less frothy.
All right, we have a new trade alert right here. NVIDIA, we just put it on right now at 80s. Let's see if it wants to work. We're at 79s, but we're going to see if it can work off this 50-period moving average and then maybe get out of it. Well, we will get out of it if it takes the 50-period, and just making sure that we have the right stop on that break, which I have it at 34, but I think it's going to be 197.29 or so. For that one. Okay, each year there's over 3.8 million concussions that are reported in the United States, yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment, which is ridiculous. NYSE-listed Oragenic, symbol OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach over $9 billion by 2027, Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule your meeting today. Again, QR code, scan that, link in description as well. Yeah, so the reason why I want to go long NVIDIA, it's up 5% right here. We're already long the futures. I don't think that that's at any significant levels or anything, but I just noticed that right here on NVIDIA, we just keep on, sure, there's been a few dips through the 50-period moving average, but I just want to play it off of that right now and see if we can, fall back in, make new highs. Every time we've fallen back in, we've gone, to make new highs. So that was the most recent one, which kind of matched what we did at 10 o'clock right there. And then, fell back in, up, didn't really fall at all, fell back in there, new high, right? Took that level out, fell back in right now, another new high. So I might not have the right, I mean, I think I have the right area. It's just, I want to use that bottom there. If you're going to get real aggressive with it, maybe you can hold to 196.50. That would make a little bit of sense, but I'm willing to scalp out a small loss if we break below that 35 area or so, with an average incoming around 65, maybe 65 is too early for that. But I just want to see if this can get a little bit meme crazy right now here on NVDA. What did you want to know?
Oh, no, NVIDIA wasn't the last thing on the list, and now it is.
He changed it. It was ADVM or something. Oh, I didn't mean to be covering NVIDIA.
Because that was messing me up.
I only covering it now because it's my newest position. I didn't. All right, let's go over to Sharif. We'll get the story on NVIDIA, and then we can talk about the trade or whatever.
Good.
There's no ADVM, guys. It was just my crazy fingers not typing NVIDIA properly. Let's start with shares of semiconductor stocks. They're mostly trading up after Taiwan Semi reported about a 17% year-over-year revenue growth for October. There's separate headlines specific to NVIDIA, though. You've got analysts at Wolfe Research and Bank of America, as well as Citi, that are bullish on NVIDIA shares, saying that the company's growth outlook here remains strong despite concerns over zero China revenue. They're saying that that's not going to affect the stock price in the near term at all, and they're overlooking it. NVIDIA could also guide Q4 revenue in the range of $63 to $64 billion, predict UB analysts there, so keep an eye on that. They also have a bullish rating of a $235 on the monster NVIDIA. And then also here, okay, I'll get to this in a second, Citi raising their price target on NVIDIA from 210 to 220, and they keep the buy rating on the shares ahead of the earnings report, which is scheduled, guys, November 19th after the close.
So here it goes, man. I mean, let's just go. We just, like, Neil did SoFi. Meanwhile, I'm surfing for trade opportunities, and we found NVIDIA. We hit the sirens. This was against us. And there it goes. Now it's upside right here. It's 30 cents plus right now on NVIDIA. We just go, okay. Here we go, Neil. We're putting the money through right now on NVDA. Let's go. Nice little high side play there for NVIDIA. Look, man, I mean, it's up 5%. This is giving me those same vibes that we nailed Palantir. We nailed, I don't know if it was the futures or whatever it was on Friday, but as this move continues to go higher, we love NVIDIA, man, and I just bought this thing. We're long at 75s, at 25s, 50 cents. It's not hard. I mean, it's not easy to grab 50 cents, and there it is right there. Nice little move for NVIDIA upside. Let's just see how far we can go. Rocketing up the P&L board right here goes NVIDIA.
Yeah, those are the names that get it back, the market back to that high for sure. Look, I'm just out of pure respect for the fact that ADVM does exist. It's not a made-up stock, Sharif. That's what was messing me up. It's some BS $4 stock out there, which I'm like, I turn this on, I go, why the heck is this thing on the watch list? It's an actual stock. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. I trade AMD instead and SMCI, but I just want to point out now the difference between all of these names. NVIDIA breaking out high of the day, up 5%. AMD was stronger this morning. They're both up 5%, just very different paths. Back at the volume-weighted average price, SMCI, which is a bit of a bear, is only at the volume-weighted average price, which is leading me to think if we turn here, I'm looking for this one to the south side. Relative weakness pretty much the entirety of the day. And then aftermarket tonight, well, we get the, can you even call CoreWeave NVIDIA's cousin? I'm not even sure that. No, you can't. But they are wrapped into this world. And they're not NVIDIA whatsoever. And they're absolutely proving it going into earnings, because this is pretty much at the low of the day when everything else is breaking out the highs. So there's clearly some concern going into this print aftermarket, which I'm going to guess is, what's the expected move? 15% is the expected move on CoreWeave tonight. 20% is what it moved last time. And right now it's looking incredibly weak relative to the market. So I'm looking for a chance to get back into SMCI this morning. Like, the saving grace this morning was finding something that was going the direction. If you're looking short, find something trending down. If you're looking long, find something that trended long. That was the case with silver, was trending up and still trending to the upside. SMCI, VWAP, but I needed to break back underneath. So this is the one I'm hunting. potential breakout on open. It hasn't really done it just yet. But my eyeballs are on SMCI as this market continues to grind, and it's only now getting its moment in the sun. Not all chips are created the same. And don't forget, it's the memory names that have been the strongest today. You know, Western Digital, Micron had a big day.
What about today, like the last quarter?
But right now,
today it's going.
They're not at the highs. Like, they've been the strongest ones. Micron's up 7%, but it's not at the high of the day. And SanDisk is the one I was forgetting. SNDK. Okay, of course SanDisk is just built different these days. Micron's not at that top. I'm pretty sure Western Digital wasn't, but SanDisk still is breaking out. But that's why you look at relative strength and weakness. If I'm looking for a fade, it's going to be this. I keep looking up at OpenDoor, and it's teetering on this $8 breakout, but just not yet. Still in the consolidated phase. If it pulls back, maybe into about 780, I'd look for a dip buy. But, well, it sits at 90, I do nothing. If it pulls back in 80, I'll look for a dip. If it breaks 8, I'm going to go for the long on that bad boy. So we're done the rundown. Now we can look for other opportunities out there. Rivian is also on my mind, as that is a chance to break back through the high. 9% for Rivian. The number of almost double-digit names today is completely insane. And there's something for everybody. If you like reversions, you got those. If you like breakouts, you got them early. I don't think this one's going to be a short again. I'll stick with SMCI and OpenDoor.
Yeah, we're... Look, we said this already, man. We went short early, and now we're long. And so now we're $1.50 in the money on this TQ trade. And I was posting it as I was taking it on the midday show, but it's their show. So, but there it is, man. Up huge again on TQs as it just continues to rock and roll. And then here we go on NVIDIA. We just kept getting some out. So just to let you guys know, I'm out of half now of NVDA. It just, we just got out one more piece at 198 flat there as it tried to break back below. And I was like, maybe it's, 30 cents or so is good enough, but our best outs are in the 20s right there. Let's see if we can get back up to $23. Then we'll look at some more names. Actually, here it comes back up. I'll put something in the teens. I don't want to just get out of this all the time. I want to be able to hold, but we still have half, so it's been pretty good. We said don't call it a comeback, but you might want to call it one, and that's DraftKings. Another monster trade here today for DKNG. I mean, it's only up 2.5%, but if you were here in the morning, you had a nice little bounce back up to 31.50, and they had some pretty... The earnings weren't actually that bad. It wasn't that, it's more the look forward on the poly markets and the prediction markets of the world. But then I was looking over DraftKings, and they are actually going to be implementing something very similar to all of that as well with the prediction markets. So they're going to be in that game. And I just think that if they can do that, and just like how we like Robinhood, is you keep all of your money in one app, if you don't then have to worry about, going over to IBKR or Robinhood or, wherever, over to even Kalshi or Polymarket or wherever you're making these predictive bets, and you could do it all in one app, I think it's very, very easy to switch back and forth. So that, to me, is good. And I think that's what the market's giving them some credit for potentially going into that form of market. And they did it with buying out Railbird. And so hopefully they can get that into their app, and the CEO seems to be pretty confident that they can do that. So I do like DraftKings in and around this area. And then they announced a deal also with Disney, which they already are a major partner with Disney, but even more so. So with Disney getting into, again, more live sports, they have the ESPN, the ABC, and, definitely if you're a sports fan, you watch some kind of a sporting event, most likely on an ESPN or Disney product this weekend. So there it goes, college football. I mean, ESPN's on that basically all weekend long. And there it goes up to 112.20 or so again, as Disney, same kind of a move, right? Off that DraftKings was only a couple of days ago, they're upside as well now. So we'll see if they can, blend together to create, a decent opportunity for investors. And right now, you're kind of forming into maybe some sort of a flag pattern here because, this little wedge going to come in here. I don't know if you're going to get one of those golden crosses between the 200 and the 50, but it's definitely holding out right now at this 200 around this 110, 108.
You know why I don't like the golden cross?
Yeah, is that even one on the 50 and the 100? I don't even know what to do.
But in the general sense, the reason sometimes I don't like it is because you'll already see how you have that descending wedge?
Yeah.
Is a lot of times you will have like that breakout be more clean than the moving averages. That's why I like trend lines. Like you just have the lower highs and then now you got a flat bottom. So like, who cares? Like, just whenever the heck it closes above that.
Yeah, right into here.
So like this week it'd be a 114
That's also the
break.
50 period, so you can get that.
Yeah, so you can break the 15 period on Disney, and that'll be good. Speaking of trends, really close to SMCI breaking one, and Swamp Rat. Okay, Swamp Rat was asking about Circle. We're gonna go to Adara, and I can guess that after.
I want to take a moment here to pull up IBIT or any crypto name. It is worth noting we have U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just posting right now on X that U.S. Treasury, along with the IRS, has issued new guidance giving crypto exchange-traded products, or ETPs, a clear path to stake digital assets. So again, some news here on the potential for digital asset staking for crypto ETPs coming from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and the Department of Treasury and the IRS. Back to you. And before we send it back to you guys, though, actually, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Beta Pro by Global X Canada, because we have some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, which is Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leverage ETFs, they've just launched a new Series 6 new triple leveraged ETFs, which offer 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and even U.S. Treasuries. But even better, they are offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. Plus, the U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. So if you are a tactical, sophisticated trader who's looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. Back to Neil and Sean.
We got a question from Natalia in the chat. Neil and Sean, are you guys going to be a part of Trader TV Academy too?
No.
You better believe we're a part of it. Of course we are. Now, the thing about it is, I said when we were talking about earlier, the same principles of like the basics of how you learn the market, like how the market functions, like what you should do as a foundation for building as a trader right from the ground up.
Yep.
It's the same things that we went through, more or less. I mean, obviously the market rules change, so you have to make that kind of adjustment. But yeah, we're absolutely a part of it. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, we are. And to a great extent, and others on the team as well. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think it is going to be a fantastic product. We've had a chance to check it out. There are going to be plenty of other updates coming. We'll be able to show you some stuff soon, but it is coming, and we are absolutely are a part of it. And one of the things that we always talk about, certain indicators, things that we use or don't use, volume is king. And so the first thing, when that story just came out with Best,
Nvidia.
like Circle didn't even move. OpenDoor just broke $8. Circle literally didn't even move. So to me, it's like, okay, well, that's not exciting because I don't see a volume spike. So automatically, while that can be good news, it's not necessarily something that I want for a trade. So again, Bitcoin didn't move, Circle didn't move, but we just broke through on OpenDoor through that $8 level. Let's see where it can go. Now remember, overhead resistance is at the quarter. So you're going 8 to about 8.25 on this and breaking 8 even. So if it loses 8, I would probably hop out and wait for a 780 for a dip buy, because that's like 20 cents. So if I think the upside is 20 pennies on an $8 stock, then I wouldn't hold it 20 cents against me. But if it breaks underneath it, I can jump out and wait for that 780 that I was talking about earlier. It just never dipped into 780, but there is some overhead resistance. So it's a scalp into that 825 area for me here on OpenDoor. And it's worth keeping an eye on some of the crypto names. If they start going, maybe there's like a late reaction to that news, but I would have expected Circle, I mean, Bitcoin maybe to move, I would have expected Circle would have done something on that Bessent headline if it was a huge deal in the short term.
Yeah, no, same ways right there. Yeah, you know, all of us there. The Academy is going to be great. Sharif, Brendan, myself, and Neil. It's basically just, we'll describe it more, but Neil did a great job. They're learning different methods using the software that we're using as well, and just understanding, you know, part of the road that got us here and where you guys can get from different trainings and whatnot. And, you know, we'll talk more about it as it gets closer, but we are excited to get ready to launch. And just little things like what I just did right here on NVIDIA. Like, it just came right in, you know, we bought some more 80s there on this move back in and then rinsed it right back on the way to the upside. So we'll talk about, you know, mentality, psychologies, everything like that, and what we're doing with the Trader TV Academy. So we're excited for that. I'm looking to see if there's any more opportunities, because it doesn't mean that, you know, we just sit here and trade the same names over and over again. We talked about SoFi as well a little bit there. I'm not sure if there's any major runners. We do have BigBear AI reporting tonight. And the thing about BigBear AI is, and everyone's like, oh, it is a name that I'm excited about, but I'm not buying these dips and trying to make predictions ahead of the earnings call at all, okay? But they are coming today at scheduled right after 4 o'clock today at 4:30. But if you go over to their calendar and you just have a little quick look over here, right? Like, this is their last couple reports, right? EPS, like they were estimated at 6 cents. They were minus 49 cents, minus 25, minus 42. So, you know, in what looked like they were doing better, minus 6, minus 7, the last 3 reports, they were
Hold on a second. They missed that much and didn't move last time?
No, they moved. Yeah.
No, I have
down.
I have the prior move is 0.7.
No, she has that
maybe
wrong.
That's wrong.
It was okay. Well, I mean, the difference too is that sometimes because it's so shorted, it will get bought back up. But we can check it. It's BigBear AI's last earnings report was August 11th. We can check out the movement on that.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Right there. But anyways, I was going to say, you know, we are looking for them to turn EPS positive, and when they do, this thing's the next Palantir, but it has to happen for them first, and nothing's the next Palantir, but you know what I mean. Palantir was great company, really started to get going once, obviously, they turned profit, and then were eligible to be added into the S&P 500, into the NASDAQ, and so on and so forth, 100, which is why Palantir was a New York listed name, switched over into NASDAQ listed, so now they're part of the NASDAQ 100 as well. So we'll just see what happens with BigBear AI, Q4 coming through. They've gotten some recent government contracts as well. So hopefully that can boost and they can talk a little bit more positively about it. But right now, BigBear AI, and just quickly to see before we throw it back over, I wanted to see what the short flow was. It's actually smaller than it was previously. So now it's only 17%. So that's not necessarily, well, that's still a decent amount.
They probably covered.
Let me see what OpenDoor is quickly, because again, 25%. So, you know, the BigBear Brigade, whatever, the army, as well as the OpenDoor army. We'll see if they can both be strong tomorrow. Today's, you know, OpenDoor's day. We'll see if BigBear AI can get it going tomorrow. Over to Adair quickly.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know we actually have a earnings preview infographic here at X at TTV Research for BigBear AI. I have similar infographics for Rigetti and another name reporting after the bell today. That would be CoreWeave. So you can find BBAI, OKLO, and CRWV earnings preview infographics on X at TTV Research. Check us out right there. Back to you.
Yeah, BBAI, it did move last time. So big move last time. This would be the candle, huge volume.
The thing is, it doesn't have that much coverage, right? So like these guys are gonna, it's not gonna be exact, all these estimates. So you do expect these stocks to move quite a bit. Like the fact it's only moving 1% today, that's actually, I think there's a lot of nervous hands waiting to see what happens.
They don't know what to, well, I think if you're, like the shorts are smart to cover because it's like that many times, if there's a single beat, if it's so consistently not beating, if there's a single beat, it's gonna go absolutely ham. And off that 200 period where it bounced before, that's the level to obviously watch. But for open, remember I said if it gets back underneath 8, it's an 801, and I'll be out at 99. If it goes, it got all the way to 10 was the best out. So I took most of it out for that scalp trade. If you're risking 2 cents, then making anywhere from 3 to 7 is going to be good. Actually, 3 to 9, I should say, is going to be good. But I don't want that breakout to completely fail on me. So we'll get out right there, like I said, at 99. That's 01 in, 99 out, and the majority of it out between like that 3 to 9 cent mark. If it gets down to 780, that's a place that I want to re-engage, right? Like not hold it all the way down, but let it get back into that 780 level and see if it can do another secondary push on that bad boy. So OpenDoor, so far so good. I feel like whatever open is today,
David,
I think BBAI has that potential to be tomorrow. It's just, how could, like really, it's completely sideways going into earnings.
Right.
5 cent range, that's really tempting. In either direction, in power hour, for a stock expected to move 15%. Like you could take, like similar to that 8 breakout, like even if you just took like a 70, 77, even if you get 78s long, it breaks out. there's 20 cents worth of upside even to the highs, and you just give it like a break-even stop or something like really, really tight. Or you could also probably do it the other direction, but my guess is that's not free. Oh, we do. BBAI is free. So shout out to Real Trading. You can short this one for free if that is your cup of tea. But I'm going to go back over, at least for now, to OpenDoor to look for that 780 level on a dip. Still tracking SMCI, but that's starting to look strong. So SMCI, ooh, VWAP strong there. Let me get you a better chart. See how it's missing data? That would not be the volume weighted average price. I know my other chart's good. So SMCI broke trend, only now closing underneath the volume weighted average price. See, now I'm glad I looked at this chart. Because over here, I'm like, I don't want it. It's above VWAP. It's not. This is the trend break I wanted.
All right. Yeah, we're still doing the same old thing, man. Joe likes this button, so we'll do it now. We reloaded NVIDIA, and you can see, like, I know Neil just talking about BigBear AI, and like a 20-30 move, obviously, on that would be quite big. It's only an $5 stock. So, but right here, we're just quietly getting a 50-cent move here on NVIDIA off of our recent reload. So long at 75, now it's at 15. So nice. Did I say 50 cents? 40 cents right there on NVIDIA as it looks to keep going higher. So yeah, man, let's just ride this into the close. We've reloaded our position. So this is going to be, again, you know, a top P&L name there. Tesla, I mean, another 4%. I mean, I don't know. I was catching some slack or flack, both, Aflac. You know, saying on the show when Adair and I were waiting for that vote, we were just like, it's going to pass and it's going to be a sell once it passes, and that's exactly what happened. And it came back into that low, into some nice lows on Friday, but all it really did was just give you a buying opportunity. We saw that with Palantir, we saw that with Tesla, and it just goes to show if you just continue, no matter what you think of the stock or who's running it, these are high quality names. You know, there's only so many of these names that are in the $1 trillion club and so on and so forth. And if you do like what they're pushing forward, then, you know, dip buys are what's due here. So Tesla's a tricky one because there's so many people that are on each side of the argument here where we know the car business is flailing. Meanwhile, you don't buy it for the car, you're buying it for the AI, for the full self-drive and everything like that. But again, still stuck in the middle. But I really like Tesla stock, and just looking at it right here, it's the same kind of thing on the trade today. Everything's lining up. Like, there's not too many times where, by the way, NVIDIA still trying to go right now. We will, here, we'll do this gangster bull ride. Picking up the money over there. Yeah, Tesla right here, you get the 200, the 21, and the 50 period moving average, all sort of converging right now at the same spot. So that's kind of like charting. Don't know what's going on, so nor do I. I'm going to give that a little bit of a break. And I know you were in Rivian and out of it, and I don't want to talk about the same names, but this is another one that just continues to climb over the last couple of days. Huge move, 13, 14, 15, 16. I looked, man, I only have $1,000. Normally we don't talk about our positions, but this is obviously a very small one in my swing account. It's only Rivian. I only got $1,000 left worth of stock. The last time I got out, I think it was into here because we had got into these areas, and I'm going to say it was 17 or 1750 maybe. Those were the highs, so it wasn't definitely not that high.
I remember that was the one. I know. I only know because I sold all of mine.
Yeah, so
I gave up on the stock.
Yeah, so something in there. So I'm still holding. That's why I wanted to look back to see like how much of this I still have, and it's very, very small. I did not reload it, didn't do anything down here, so got about $1,000 worth. So in the last couple of days, it's been okay. Like that grand's turned into like 1,300 or something, but it's, so I guess we have 1,300 now, but it's a nice move higher, but not something that, you know, I'm too worried about. I think we'll let this one break the tops now, instead of just getting out and realizing, which isn't that much profit, but hey, it doesn't really matter how much money you got into it. Yeah, there's the 1850 top, yeah, so we didn't wait, so that was it. So we didn't wait for that top, we had seen that move. This is where we had bought it on the way down. I mean, I'm always trying to buy value, so we bought it on the way down against some of these levels, which it did wind up breaking lower. When it got back into $18, we didn't do much about it, but I think it was this time. The second time is where we started to get out, and I think 1650, and it's just back into these levels, so cautionary tale here for Rivian, honestly. I like the stock. It didn't get low enough. I don't think Randy had a price of like I think it was 1082 or something. I think he was like, yeah, he was a little upset that he had missed it, but still, whatever you have in it, just be cautious of the levels that it's at. You know, can it get back up? This was a $105, $108 name at one point. But
oh, never mind. I thought
that was on the IPO. Oh yeah, I think it went higher.
Because didn't we?
It IPO'd at 108.
Yeah, because I think it was like one of the biggest.
I can call
like it was like 108 to 140, 150 on like the initial push. Like that one and Snowflake were stupidity. I know some. I think we had some traders.
I don't know if it was.
Which is unfortunate if people
Snowflake.
graduate
Was
on
it
that, but I know some people did. Or at least one person did on that open trade, because it was just the thing about graduating on a trade like that on the prop desk is because there's so few and far between. You then you have to have so much extra discipline. Like it's hard because now all of a sudden you've made it, but you did it on a trade which might not come again for a couple of months. So you have to be absurdly disciplined to then just be really patient to develop a strategy and then wait for the next one, which not everyone does. Let's go to Adara. I believe he has some news.
We should talk about what Trump just posted on Truth Social. So Trump once again here warning that if we unwind the tariff policy, that it's going to cost the U.S. over $2 trillion. He actually said that it's a national security threat to unwind the tariff policy as a result. And again, these comments come as the Supreme Court considers these arguments with regards to upholding the Trump administration's tariffs. It is worth noting here the poly market and Kalshi, basically the prediction market in general, bets here for the tariff policy being upheld. They went down a little bit after the first hearing last week with regards to these tariffs. So again, Supreme Court right now, we're generally here in the process of hearing these Trump tariffs, and Trump saying that, hey, if we unwind these tariffs, the U.S. is going to be, I guess, having to pay here over $2 trillion and face a national security threat. Back to you.
Here's the chart right here. By the way, man, are we ever doing something right now? It's a face slapper on NVIDIA. There's Rivian, yeah. So 108 I thought came out at, yeah, that's exactly the right price, 107, 108. Nice first day, nice second day. Not nice after that. This is weekly, but I don't know. I mean, obviously the first week looks like it was pretty good. The second week, they're down to the downside.
That first week is literally the first day.
There it is, Rivian. So we'll go back to the daily chart and then just get rid of it now as it's a nice higher, but oh boy, I don't know, man. Like we just got, that was $1.75 right there on the TQs. We're just very relaxed. I don't know if you guys can tell. And it's because we've got the goods, man. We've got NVIDIA long. We reloaded that name. We got it first. We gave it to you again. So we're just going to watch out for this stock just going higher and higher and trying to print now 65 cents in the money there, $1.60 in the money now on the TQs as we look for some more opportunities. SMR trying to bounce a little bit higher. I'm only looking for A setups because we've got it. I just put on 2 trades here in the afternoon, and they're both like cooking. Let it cook. Shout out to Brendan Ingram dating Glorilla right here. Yeah, Raptors, of course. You know, everyone wants to date a Raptor. You know, but 198.40, nice move.
If
higher.
it keeps him healthy, I don't care what he.
Yeah, whatever. He needs to stay healthy. That's for sure. I think we stole him. We come for like someone that no one's ever heard of. And
but it's because he's never
first round pick.
He's never healthy. That's why he went.
Dream team member at one point, I believe, on the Olympic.
He's incredibly talented. There's no question about it.
Well, there it is. There goes NVIDIA again, man. All right, man. There's 75 cents right now. So yeah, it's Lambo time right here. I hope SMCI is working out, but we've got 2 bangers on right now. NVIDIA almost $1 in on the reload, and TQ's $1.70.
Well, SMCI doesn't have to. Like you said, A+ setups, but I find very few A+ setups at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because as SMCI, the likelihood of it doing what it did in the morning, where it failed VWAP and drops like a clean $1 to the lows, it's a $40 stock. I think that's incredibly unlikely, but I can jump in here, risk about 10 to 15 pennies on it, and look for like a quarter or a third to a third of that move. Like that's the way I'll look at it. Like I'll risk maybe 10% of what we made in the morning to get a smaller move on it. Because to get what you see in the morning where you can hold it all day long is almost impossible. Like I don't think I'll recreate, like on silver, that's not going to be recreated. Like that just continues to trend up. But we were just talking about Rivian. Rivian might have been that double top short. Like to me, when it goes the first time, like that's the A+ setup, and you just try to do the best with it. But now it almost needs to break this, or maybe put in another lower high, because this is distinctly different. This is making lower highs. This is seemingly done with its move. And it's just like OpenDoor. Like Open, fine, yeah, that breakout makes money clean, but you're unlikely to get that reversion or that reversion or the early longs that you could have had this morning. Like those are the types of trades, if you can try to grab them. Oh no, KIXN is halted to the downside. I wanted to be able to show you guys. I know Sharif did. We have the halt bands now. Ooh, Cation. What is this, like an offering? Yeah, so anyways, this stock Cation is halted to the downside. Don't know the story. This might be really bad, actually. The theoretical auction price on this is actually saying 36 cents. I really hope no one's actually in this thing, because it halted at $1.44 from 180, and the theoretical auction price is penny stock size. So maybe there is a story here. I've heard of this stock, but I don't think it's usually something which is very popular. It's the only reason I even know the name. The last story is from like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so that might actually be really bad. We'll see what happens when it opens back up, but volatility halt on this bad boy. As we said, BBAI does have earnings after market. If it could just break out of this consolidation, like the longer the consolidation, the better the opportunity for a break. I think that was part of the problem with OpenAI. Is OpenAI went sideways only for a little bit when it broke the $8. So it didn't really coil itself up long enough, which is generally what you want to see. Like it got to $8 and then broke almost instantly when it was there, and now it's sort of running out of steam. Like if you took that break, you still, even if you held on to it, you still haven't gotten better than the initial break gave you into the 10s. Like 10s is still the best out that you could have had. Maybe we take a 10 break the second time through. But that one seems like a nothing burger to me. I'll just stick with SMCI, have my stop, its previous high. First target's down here at 460, and then if you can get down to 440, that'll be plenty good enough. They've been a dog the whole time. We don't trust them. SMCI is like, trust us, the numbers were bad, but it's going to get better. Yeah, okay. I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's tough to go back into a company that we've seen, you know, they had such a roller coaster year of 2020.
The biggest roller coaster.
Accounting, this and that. They got dropped by Deloitte and Touche or whoever the accounting firm was, and then like one of their board members was like doing the accounting for them. I don't even know what the hell that was all about. All right.
They should hire me. I had a year of accounting.
No, they definitely should not. But right into here, not about anything about your skills, but just about the stock. Like
they damn sure shouldn't hire me.
Random trader taking over. No, but right into here for NVIDIA. Just getting some more out. We just tweeted it out again. All we did was find you this trade, and hopefully it's good. But look at this, man. This is when we need that winning thing. All Trump does is win here in the market. I mean, if you're looking at today, and remember, Neil, we reported it live on the air. We went long on Friday, or maybe it was, there it is, or maybe it was Thursday when Trump was like, we need to buy those AI, buy AI, I believe he said it. I'm not even sure if he knew what he meant when he said it, but there, I mean, that's really been today one of the stories. Micron, Cisco, GE, AMD, Apple, all these electronic, Broadcom, Google upside, Meta, Palantir, hello, up 9%, Apple Oven, hello, up 5 and a bit %. Even Salesforce, hey, you know something's going right when Salesforce goes up. There's Salesforce. We were talking about it earlier today. It is up 0.4.
That didn't count.
No, we're trying to get excited for it. There's Adobe. We had that talk today. That's up today, 0.64. You know, what's exciting for me is all these names up in here, because we've been going longer on SoFi lately. I really like Charles Schwab. We had a discussion about that. We like JP Morgan is my largest holding in this space. Well, it's pretty much my only holding over here. We do have Berkshire. I don't own any credit card companies other than Berkshire, which owns, you know, some of these names as well. But into here, just looking to see if there's anything else I'm interested in. No, not really. Capital One has a good, they made a deal there. I forget who that was with, but better credit card business over there. This has been a real hot sector. Thank you in most part to Caterpillar. Neil talked about Lam Research getting going here again as some of these manufacturing companies. Lam Research is actually really exciting because they are producer manufacturer, so they're in the right area, but they're just producing what everybody needs right now in that chip manufacturing. So watch out for Lam Research and some of the machines.
What makes them so good?
They make the machines.
Because when you do that, it's like, okay, well, if the hyperscalers have to worry about return on investment for their AI spend. You think Lam cares about that? No, they just sell the chip makers the machines to make more chips.
They just need the sales to keep going.
If the chips don't make as much profit, they should, in theory, shouldn't be hit as much so long as they behave normally. What scares me about Lam
Discover credit
is it stopped behaving normally. Now it's behaving a little parabolically. That's the thing that can, like, it's not moving the way it used to. This is very parabolic. So suddenly you have that kind of risk. And I put this in the bucket with like the G Vernovas and stuff, where it's getting a little bit frothy. They're usually a little more stable than this and gentle to the upside. This has been breaking backs, and it makes you wonder, do you have to start thinking about these types of stocks differently if you happen to have them? I own ASML, not LAM, but it's effectively the same thing. ASML is just different, obviously unique and different technology, but the charts are very, very similar. AMAT would be similar, but I'd say ASML and LAM are better than AMAT in my books.
Yeah, so, oh yeah, AMAT. Yeah, and then today we have some health services names. We saw Oscar, they had earnings last week and was not good, so they got hit last week. And then again today as some of these healthcare names, Humana there, UNH, Centene, is it? Oh, sorry, Cigna Group. CNC is, there it is, here it is right here.
It's because of that one.
So that's also down 8+% right now, dipping well into some of these lows here. UNH still holding out okay. I feel like you want to, 318, you know, well, we can look at some daily charts to see where these lows are. Obviously, we've had quite a big move down, and then, you know, we thought maybe the Republicans were talking kind of nicely about sort of that recovery there, and then we had Trump come through and dismiss some of these, you know, some of the costs that are associated with these insurance companies. So they're making the move down today. Yeah, you know, Eli Lilly nearing that $1,000 mark, so we like some of that. They had that big drug sort of, not reform, but talking about cheaper prices there with the president last week. And unfortunately, we did have the executive. It wasn't Eli Lilly's executive that fainted, was it? It was, oh, Novo, yeah. So NVO, it doesn't matter, but I never see NVO on here, so I don't know where it is today. But anyways, there it is. I'm hearing, you go.
That's just because they're not on the SPY. That's why they're not there.
Yeah, so thank you, Adara. Thank you. Oh, here we go. We have a thank you, Adara thing right here.
Thank you very much, Adara.
Yeah, so there it goes. We're going to wait to see if there's anything else going to hit this market right now. But gold is on the way back to the upside here today, which is nice to see. Battling with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's also on the way back up. Gold up almost 3% with IBIT. I think is near something similar. It's actually, IBIT should be, yeah, okay, 2 2/3.
I would buy right now silver over IBIT.
Silver, okay. Yeah, I mean, I've already said I don't love Bitcoin.
Today.
But Bitcoin's held pretty good here. This $56 level, you know, 104, 105. You know, you did break 100. We showed you that on the charts. But again, if it happens overnight, then IBIT doesn't reflect that move because no one trades it over. Well, if you have 24-hour charts and it's trading in Blue Ocean, I don't activate that. But $56 right here has been a good level during the open market for IBIT. So I think that's roughly in and around where we are now, 104, 105. So we'll wait to see lower, but 104, 103 seems to be a good low for that. All right, so as this move started happening to the upside, we had sort of gotten out more and more of our NVIDIA. So we only have now 20 to 25% left. We'll take another piece out to put it down to 20% left right there. But the market is saying, then we'll just take it ourselves. So there goes the market right to the upside. We're now almost, here we go, $2 in on this one. Like, we've only known that this was going to be such a huge banger, we would have like put on 10,000 shares or something. But no, I wouldn't have done that much in the middle of the day. But there it goes. Huge move up for TQs, man. 112.80. Huge move. Let's keep going. We like that stock as it just continues to climb higher. NVIDIA, for some reason, like, is dipping a little bit into here and then just ripped right back up. So I don't know, like, look at that move on NVIDIA. So they're able to get me out of 2 or 3% more down there when it made that move. But I just take advantage of that and say, thank you very much, and just props it up. Take the same amount out at the bottom as we take out the top, which basically means we got out right here, right in the middle. But we'll take that, man. Nice move right back to the upside there for NVIDIA. I don't think there was a story there, but that was quite the move up and rallying the TQs, man. Hey, we're just ho-humming 250 right now in the money on these two stocks. So far, so good here. We have the right names. We're trading them, and there they go. Upside Apple. Yeah, no real movement here on Apple. We tried that short on that news that, you know, maybe there were some, wow, NVIDIA is just like, I mean, now NVIDIA goes dollar clubbing there. So yeah, man, we've got the right names, and there it goes, man. Yeah, let's go on the queue, says Dane Generous. Thank you so much for all the kind words there in the chat, man. Traders got to trade, and we're sitting here doing it every day. So, you know, it takes a lot for you guys to watch us, and we want to thank you for coming back every single day, watching us put on some of these trades, man. And there it goes, another one, man, Neil. $2 on Qs and $1 there on NVIDIA.
That's what it's all about. That's how you get those big ones out there. And look, just go back, because I was trying to say this about, look, I own Bitcoin. I own 5% of my account is in Bitcoin. So I want to make it clear, just to make sure everyone understands. Like, I'm not saying I own silver over Bitcoin. I own a very small amount of silver relative to Bitcoin, an infinitesimally small amount. But right now, that, and to an extent gold, just look more bullish in the short term. 50-period hold, consolidation break. I think a retest of 47.48 on the ETF here, and a lot of momentum. And it's been unabated today, like super strong, and just simply trend up. So if you compare that to IBIT, it's just a technical thing for me. Is IBIT up today? Absolutely is. Is it as strong breaking out? It hasn't even done so yet. And does it look as good on the daily chart? Absolutely not. So to me, I just favor for the next couple of days the silver trade. That's all. You know, I own a very, very small amount. As I said, I own a very small amount. But I'm going to get out of SMCI. We took our second shot. This was in the morning, obviously the best trade for me. This and silver were like very, very clean in either direction. And I don't necessarily think that with the market going up, this can go against the grain forever. So just paying for locates on KXIN there. Looks like we do have cheap locates. We have a super chat. I was going to point out that stock did open up at like 36 cents. Instantly halted up at 50 and indicating a tap of 80 cents. Still looking to see if there's news on this. If there isn't any, I'd probably look at the $1 level for a potential fail break for opportunities. Done 7 million shares, so there is volatility. David Tretsiak, Dave's dilly, not silly, macro trade idea. Classic bunder, never get involved in a land war in Asia and never go against Palantir when death is on the line. Reference, Bueller, that's from Princess Bride, and that's, not, what's his name again? Vasily? No. Is it Vasily? Inconceivable, that's the guy. Yeah, Princess Bride's a fantastic movie. Never, I like that, never get involved in a land war. No, it's never go against an Italian when death is on the line. That's the actual quote. Sicilian, Italian.
Right.
I guess he's specifically Sicilian.
Yes.
And Andre the Giant
Nuts.
was awesome in that movie.
Yeah, Andre the Giant. Yeah, great classic movie for sure. Yeah,
apparently he was like the nicest.
Yes, nicest
dude too. They said that.
I could drink like it's like 60 beers or something ridiculous.
It's kind of a big boy.
Yeah. So I mean, today we were short the Nasdaq, tried to short it again at VWAP, and then bang it to the upside, man. And it's been, you know, we were stuck on this, you know, there until this happened, and then we take the 112s down to 109.50, get out, let it rip back up into VWAP, missed it. I wasn't sitting here. Came back with the lunge, started shorting it. We were talking about it during the midday show that I was short, and then we flipped long once we eventually, we made a little bit of money on the short, got stopped out, flipped it to the long here, just to watch this sort of appreciate here into the close. So, you know, kind of so far so good on that one now, and, you know, pretty happy with where we are on it. So let's just see if the TQs can continue to climb just a little bit higher right now. All right, so, Trump has an idea of a 50-year mortgage or something. Is that what Adira had?
I heard that last week.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think that's a news story.
There. Okay, so a little piece out there on the TQs, and NVIDIA is just going nuts right now. So a lot of volume. The level 2 is kind of just, there's a lot of volume picking up now. I don't really know why this is happening, but I'm going to take advantage of this and take out a little bit more there. There we go on NVIDIA, just to let everybody know, less than, or in and about 15% now left on NVIDIA. And I sent it to Joe because Joe's always like, hey, continue, man, how about that reload? And he's had some nice ones, and we got a beautiful reload right there as well. But let's just start to dump it because, remember, if we break this 50-period moving average, we don't necessarily want any piece of it. I'm actually going to change now my stop on this last 15%. If it breaks below where we bought it, let's just get out so we don't have any sniff of a loser whatsoever. So this is 179.75, 179, okay, watch out, 197.75. We'll put 74s in there to get out of 100%. Let's put another offer at 60 just in case it rips up into those levels, and then we'll get out on the way back up because right now it's only 20 minutes until we get those imbalances, and we've seen even just over the last little while how those imbalances have really affected some of the names on our list. So yeah.
The other day, BMNR.
Oh, that was the
Wednesday.
big one.
So
that was Friday.
Well, no. Well, BMNR on Wednesday we speculate somebody probably did really well with it at the close, and on Thursday someone tried something big with it at the close and it didn't move because the imbalance had paired off. But that's one to watch. When crypto moves, that moves more than anything else. Now this Cation should be open up in like 30 seconds or so. Still have not seen a news story, but we had effectively free locates on this. It's indicating an open at 8. Just looking to see what happens to the dollar level. Right, like if it fails a break of a dollar, like a dollar is at the big psychological level, it's a 200-period moving average as well. And on a dump like this, if it ends up trying to bounce and fade through a buck, it's not like I can use VWAP or anything when a stock has done this. I'll just look at that even dollar level for a quick fail break. Adara.
What is weird, they did look into the KXIN. I didn't see anything. And when I checked, which was like right when that move down happened, there wasn't anything on X on it either. Keep an eye on AAL and other air travel plays as we get comments from White House senior advisor and one of the leaders here in the, senior economic advisor and one of the leaders in the Fed chair race, Kevin Hassett. He's saying that he is confident that air traffic will normalize by Thanksgiving Day. Back to you.
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah, go ahead.
Look, we are absolutely crushing it right here. Like, there's another out on NVIDIA, and I really do appreciate everything that you guys are saying there in the chat. Thank you, Andrew, and everything for the nice comments about the trade. But let's just go find out right now who's making all the money here at Real Trading. And as Neil and I had mentioned, there was some big imbalances there with BMNR on the Amex on Friday. So, you know, being here at Real Trading really shows you, look at this. Amex, look at all this. You know, there was enough traders that probably made about 200 grand or so on Amex there on Friday. So 60,000, 50,000, 27,000, 26,000, 25,000, 25,000 again. This trader traded Amex plus a whole bunch of others. There's another one there, 23,000, 14,000, 10,000, 9,000. Every single one of them involved in the Amex trade.
And we're only the reason we're guessing, we don't know if it was BMNR. However, you know, sometimes like it's the most obvious trend breakout. Like the stock went from bottoming out to simply trending up and going ham. Like it went consolidation of $1 range to just in the afternoon putting in like a $3 range. So understanding sort of how, like if you look for the places where someone could like leverage up, like it was tight before, so you could have a reasonable stop and then it extends really far. So you could have legitimately risked like 30 or 40 cents to make $3. That's the one that stood out. And it's doing the opposite today, by the way. Like this, I don't know if it's a sell imbalance. Like you're literally about to break the low of the day here on BMNR as the market is surging. So it's doing the opposite of what it did on Friday, at least for now. Cation is approaching that $1 level. Somebody already took a shot. At least I make the assumption of somebody taking a shot at it at 80 cents. There was 120,000 shares on the bid. Someone just said, I'm going to go long there and got filled for the whole thing. It's now halted to the upside at 94 cents. So the notion of that dollar break is probably going to have to wait at least a little bit longer for now. But it's going to open up maybe one more time, and there might be one last shot at it. SMCI is back under VWAP, so I'm going to take another crack at this one. You know, it's still, the market's still looking relatively weak. I did top wicket. Had my stop just above the consolidation, shorting VWAP, giving it just past the prior high. That's the play always. Now you're going to consolidate under this break. If I get in a second time, my stop goes to the lower high in here, just to try to keep it as simple as possible. So that's the plan of action for myself here on SMCI, and I'll keep Cation up. It's not a guarantee that that ends up tradable. Like for all I know, like it just halted now. It might not actually even open up again. Because if it's anything past a 10-minute halt, you never really know about a stock like that. And there's still no news on it. But if a stock craters like that on no news, it's kind of like a canary in the coal mine, especially when it's like a penny stock. It usually makes me feel like there is something that people are scared about a lot if they're able to crater a stock like that with any kind of news. So hopefully that kind of a thing doesn't happen to anything you guys are in. But yeah, be careful. I believe it's an auto stock, Cation Auto, I think. I should have looked it up before, but
that's not like old. What was? It was that one stock that kept on getting killed over and over again. We kept making fun of it on the show.
Mullen. Oh, they're gone, by the way.
Is that? But it didn't switch to Cation or something?
No. They went to what did they call themselves?
I feel like that Cation Automotive is something that we.
They changed. Mullen changed the company name. And then now went to the OTC. Like they got booted off the market. It was Beamy, B-I-N-I.
Oh yeah, BIMI?
B-I-N-I, that's what it was.
B-I-N-I.
Bollinger Innovations, it's on the OTC.
Bollinger Innovation.
And here it is at 10 cents.
Never gonna get to
Haha,
that.
you can't do this anymore, can you? You cannot ruin shareholders anymore, BINI. The jig is finally up with
Or
these
can
guys.
you?
Can they? Well, I don't know. I guess, you can't just reverse, they don't have the same reverse split. You're not going to be able to.
I don't know how that all works. I mean, I couldn't believe that how many times Mullen kept doing it.
I don't think they can pull this off now that they're on the OTC. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah. We are not wrong right now because there it is, and it's an official dollar club right here for us as we just keep doing what we're doing, man. There it goes on NVIDIA, more outs as we just went up to the upside into the 80s there for NVIDIA, continuously going higher here. So into earnings tonight, man, we've got some big names to come through, right? Adara's got the graphic. Do you have a good graphic ready, Adara, or anything? Do you have a graphic out for earnings yet? I'm gonna go to your website. I'm gonna go to T. Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna find it. Here it is, right here. So, economic news to watch out for tomorrow, but we're gonna find right here tonight. So this is what we're doing. You got to go over to Trader TV Research right here. Adair does a heck of a lot of work. I was gonna show it. I just kind of repost these things, but. Oops, there it is right here. So pre-market today, we had Barrick, symbol B. I think we looked a little bit about that. Maybe we can look at that again. It was not a good Monday for Monday. And then Instacart as well. But here it is tonight. What kind of a symbol is this? Honestly, plug power? Come on, my guy. I know it looks kind of like a plug, and I get it. So actually, maybe it's a little bit creative.
I think it looks terrible.
Yeah, I think it's creative, but I don't love the symbol. This CoreWeave CW is kind of nice, but there it is. So we're going to look at Dara Neal tonight with, I guess, Michael Noss. But there it is, 4 p.m. plug, 405 CoreWeave. So let's get going here. I don't know how many options we can put in the chat, but let's just choose. Let's choose 4 of these to choose which one we think will be the biggest, because there's all huge names.
CoreWeave.
I think we can go
Rigetti.
CoreWeave, Rigetti, BigBear, and Rocket Labs.
That's fair.
Right, so let's do that. I'll send them to you, or you can put it up if you know the symbols. Biggest move tomorrow. That's all. Biggest move tomorrow. Biggest move by open tomorrow. I don't know, but you guys
Either direction. So like
you guys know what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't have to predict which one's going to be up or down, but just let's put on there CoreWeave, Rigetti, BigBear, and Rocket Lab. Regardless, like you don't have to go over and find the implied moves or whatever. Just which one do you think will be the biggest? I'm going to go with Rigetti. Okay, and I just think that Rigetti is going to have something to say, and people aren't going to be too pleased, most likely, with the net number of deal income that these guys have, and it's only moving 1% today. It's had a pretty violent move to the downside, and look, if they can put out a surprise number, I think Rigetti could really hum one way or the other. BigBear AI, I think, probably might have the biggest implied move. CoreWeave could be exciting. But again, it's at another decent level for CoreWeave, which is down at $100. So I could see us maybe bouncing somewhere off of 100 into earnings there. We've already bounced off that, and I think that might have a floor in and around 90, which puts this move maybe capped at 10 to 15%, which should be good for CoreWeave. So I don't know. I mean, I'm talking into all of these names and Rocket Labs as well, RKLB. Could definitely be one of those movers as we wait for more news, potential deal making here with RKLB. This is one of the one that just continues to have a lot of volume every day. And again, looking at the charts, another high flyer that has faded right back into possible support. So there it is right now. I'm going to choose Rigetti on this poll and, just move forward with it. But, CoreWeave.
Rocket Lab.
Okay, Neil's going to go Rocket Lab, so you guys do you, and we'll check this in about a half hour or so as the show comes to an end, and we'll get it all figured out. But just because we checked on that, Adara, do you have the graphic that shows the implied moves? And if you do, okay, let's see that. Let's see the implied moves, and then, not my screen, there it is. Okay, so... Yeah, of course, I choose the one with the least. Like, what a surprise there. There it is, Rigetti, 13.
Rocket Lab's only 12% implied.
Rocket Lab. So you and I chose the lowest ones there. But I think they're all very similar, right? CoreWeave, like... Oh, my vote back. Plug is the biggest. But other than that, we did good, man. All the 4 that we chose are all within 1%. So, lay in your bed there, make your bed and lay in it tonight with Rigetti, CoreWeave, BBAI.
The safest bet is that Oxy will do nothing.
Yeah, Occidental there, if you are maybe a shareholder of Berkshire, maybe you might be interested in that, but I don't know what their position is. I should probably double check it as a shareholder of Berkshire. I don't know how much they still own of Oxy.
Did you see BRK today?
Occidental, I should say.
Actually, you did. We were talking about it.
No, there was a news. I don't remember what the story was with Berkshire Adara, but there was a move down earlier. Oh, it was the food stocks, I believe.
No, with Berkshire, the reason was because he put out a Thanksgiving letter and he basically said that he was going silent on Berkshire. This was going to be Warren Buffett's last communication with Berkshire, that things are being shifted over to Greg Abel, who will take over as CEO on January 1st, 2026. So that's really all it was.
What? Oh,
You're trying to do Canada?
I hit the O Canada.
Yeah,
Greg
so
Abel's
let's see if
Canadian.
this Canadian can drive the company into the ground. Probably,
I hope not.
Yeah, obviously not. I mean, these guys sitting on $400 billion in cash. Come on, man.
That's
this
a
guy
lot
could
of
just
cash
sit there and earn 3%.
It's a lot of cash on the market.
Yeah, we're gonna get out some more of NVIDIA as again it's crossed the dollar club. We just got 77s. I'm sitting also at sitting at 83. We'll take it as well. I tried to offer 83, missed it. Took 77s. Here it comes right back up. And again, I have a lot of outs here. That is for sure. But this stock, I wasn't convinced, you know, obviously that this move was going to happen. But all we really did identify was, and again, like we got some notes before about trader psychology from Neil and then trading strategies and whatnot from myself. But it's this 50-period moving average that I was really just watching. And when we got dip buys, instead of me punching out there of whatever it was, 5% or something, we should have bought that move. Like we were buying dip buys into the 50-period moving average, and instead that sort of gave us a little bit of an out. Let's adjust our out now as we have less and less of this name. 198.35, man, only 20 minutes until the imbalances. I now have about 10%, if not, yeah, about 10% left of this name. So I'm going to cancel now my current stop order. My stop order on the TQs is gone. Like, you know, we're nowhere. We had bought this down here, man. We were going to get stopped out if we sort of broke VWAP. This was like a 20 or 30 cent trade, giving us a buck and change, $1.50 right now. But let's put that NVIDIA stop. Just, you know, we get credit for teaching, so I might as well let you guys know that the next time we come near this 50-period moving average, let's give it a breath. So let's go 198.25. I mean, by the time it finally gets down there, the 50-period will be much higher anyways. 198. Whoa, okay. I thought I pushed enter there. 198.25. If that breaks, we'll get out of all of it, which means the least we'll be able to make on this is 50 cents. So far, so good here on the day. And there goes NVIDIA. Basically, my number one, it is P&L-wise, my number one stock today. Just trading it here with you guys in the afternoon because we had lost too much money trading TQs, making it back now, which is fine, but still NVIDIA is going to be pretty clean. We lost on Apple really quick, one quick trade, although now Apple would be well in the money. But we shorted that on some, basically, I don't think it was bogus. I mean, no one came out and defended either way, but it was that the iPhone Air, I think next.
The problem is we don't know whether it's real or not.
But it was next year's
Yes.
iPhone Air. It's not this year's. They're just worrying that it didn't sell as much. So they may be either scrapping it or lowering expectations for it for next year. As far as I understood the story, could be completely wrong. SMR, we did think that we were pretty good buying this $30 level, and it was working out great until it didn't. So that'll wind up being a flat trade. So we're not going to, you know, ring the register on that one too much, down another 6% today. We thought that was going well. And then obviously we already discussed the TQs. So only for me today, man, 4 symbols. I don't know how many you traded, but I've only traded 4 symbols there today. And NVIDIA is the one leading the way for me.
I actually had 9 today. Six out of 9. This was one of those mornings where they're, mornings. It was one of those mornings. I should say it was one of those days where like the thing I liked the best to happen just didn't even happen. So you're immediately like 1 or 2 stocks. It's like at the open, it's like, well, that's not going to get that dip buy, not going to get that dip buy. So you're sitting there looking for other opportunities. It's kind of like this Cation. Like it just kind of comes out of nowhere. And then silver was good. SMCI was good. Okay, Cation wants it all back. Somebody's pretty heavy on this. I had my order set. Like there was a topping tail at 1. And I had my order set, but it was also hands on the keys in case it triggered and missed to try to take out this $1 breakdown. Ooh, okay, that was interesting. I just saw it go to the halt band, but I'd swear the stock went to the halt band and then did not. I saw it stack up, but I didn't actually see the limit up down. So we can throw it up there, but the halt band I think is at about $1.25 or so. I was looking for the breakdown underneath $1. If it goes into a halt and it's past 350, then it will not be 5 minutes. It's automatically till 4 o'clock. That's always in the back of my mind. Just looking for one little fade. If it ends up going all the way into VWAP, then that might be the jam. That was the halt price at 44. but good volume here. I mean, it's only about 10 million shares, but late in the day move here on Cation on nothing. And I don't know, I kind of tend to think that where there's smoke, there's fire when a stock has done this, and someone might be trying to get out ahead of something. So I'm just looking for a secondary push down. Like, it's already gone 30 cents to 120. But unless you're taking the up halt, you're not really long at 30 cents unless you just stood in front of a moving freight train. Like, you could have 50 cents long, but to have 30 cents long, you basically were just praying that it was going to halt down, was not going to halt down a second time. So this might have just made a bit of a topping tail. If I see it actually close with some kind of a lower high, then I'm short to that high, or I'm just going to take the breakdown of a buck if I'm able to. It is SSR, by the way, so my stop order is not guaranteed to get filled to $1.
I did want to thank David. I don't think we give him credit. I saw him drop a couple of super memberships before.
Oh, I didn't?
David,
oh.
No, I missed it. It was well earlier. But I want to thank you for that. I did see it and I missed it. Thank you so much, David, obviously, for that. Giving you credit now, but I know you don't need it. Just I did see you give those, and I want to thank you for that one. I mean, do we see $200 today on NVIDIA? Probably not. We don't have too much time left in the day to do that. I did note that we do have BMNR as another little bit. I don't actually have. I'm going to actually add Amex on here because what I have Amex as a little small guy here as another imbalance locator with our P8 system or P Pro system. You can actually do multiple. There's multiple exchanges that do imbalances, right? There's TSX does it, or TMX here in Toronto. We talked about Jeff was going to talk about doing. I don't think they're doing it yet on the OTC, but it was something when he visits, he talks to us about. And the closing is just a great opportunity to get liquidity. So I'm going to highlight Amex on here as well so that we can have a look at that market. So right now, so that's going to be listed as ARCA. So SGOV, what is SGOV actually? I think it's a government bond.
It's
SGOV. Look it up right now. Yeah, it's iShares Treasury Bond ETF.
Yeah, it's useless.
Okay, so it doesn't really move too much. No, I knew it didn't move too much. But then I saw BMNR on here, I thought anyways. It
was there.
Yeah. GDX is on here. BMNR, there it is right there. A live quote, so 530. Here, if I sort it by market time, that's probably the best when we're looking at this live.
500.
So right into here, so there it is. Move it all the no, because again, they're all Amex. So if I do market time, but anyways, I want to add Amex on here and get that sorted for you. So wow, there goes that. I mean, Neil, NVIDIA is now adult. Let's go, traders. It's a chicken dinner, big time winner. Hey, this is going to be good for the Packers. There it goes. Nice move higher there for NVIDIA, man. Let's just take another piece out at 26. Ain't nothing going to stop this stock right now. Nothing's going to stop me from celebrating it either. So there it goes, $1.50 for you guys. And again, it's just a reloaded position there. Thanks, Joe. Also, Joe was sitting here talking about it to me in chat. He liked that reload there. So that was a good one. So now it's almost $1. It is $1.50 and $1.80 on the futures as they get right back into those highs as well. So, hey, man, I was kind of just not joking, but I was talking about watching NVIDIA get to 200. I didn't really think that was possible, but anything's possible in these markets. There goes NVIDIA all the way upside. Thank you, Salvador, and thank you, Medical Marinara, for the comments on the trade.
Yeah, it's a great one in there. And yeah, Sean Drake. I mean, I went off of SMCI, which is continuing to pull back to try to get Cation in here. Because this one, if it goes, I don't want to get caught in a halt. So you can only, for a stock like this, you don't want to necessarily have your attention somewhere else. But SMCI did head down lower. And then BMNR, I'm not guessing there's going to be a move on BMNR. But if I see it start to go, then I just want to be a participator after what we've seen the last couple of days in it, especially at the close. So at 350, those are stocks that I'm going to have up. I think there's a chance at 200, but I look over, like I thought there was a chance that Open would go again. By the way, I've canceled my secondary breakout on OpenDoor. You can see it's not happening. It got to 810, double topped up there, was pretty clean for a potential break, but now it's heading lower. So I think that opportunity is come and gone. That's why I went over to what I think can be a little bit more explosive. Like I feel as if this breaks a buck, I'm wanted to halt down. Like if this doesn't halt down after breaking $1, it's almost like a fail, even if it wins, because that's what the potential would be if this does go. So that's what I'm looking at right now, just jumping on over. And again, The only reason I'm looking at BM&R is what's happened the last couple of days. If it ends up a decent size imbalance, I'm just looking for something off of the low of the day, if it's to the buy side, where you can just throw the stop underneath, take a breakout trade, and maybe you get something into VWAP. Quick little scalp trade. We've seen it trend. Right now it's trending down. So I need more than 1 million shares on it. I too, like Sean, I have multiple imbalance locators up just to make sure. Like my main one does have Amex on it, but I try to find, like, you want to have, sometimes you want to put one up that only has the stock you're looking at. We show you these, but every now and then I'll put one up that only has the stock that I'm focused on, and maybe like throw this up here. So I'll probably put like BM&R on this and then only see BM&R when it comes out one way or the other. That's another hint for anyone that, if you're at real trading, just so you're not looking through all the mess for the one stock you want to see at 350. Because if it comes out as a nothing burger, I want to see that immediately. And right now, NCLH is 2.5 million, Pfizer's 4 million. I wouldn't worry about Pfizer. That tends to pair off like 99% of the time.
All right, yeah, I'm just going to wait for this as well. So there's my imbalance locator. We've got it fixed off. BIL, again, these are just government little bond things happening right here into that close. But wow, I'm waiting at 50s now for NVIDIA. I mean, I just got to keep doing that. I'll just keep on piecing it all the way to the upside. We now exactly have 10% left on NVIDIA, now $1.70 to go along with our dollar. Okay. I didn't even realize the TQs were doing this either. So there, we'll take it. Oops. Oh, I missed it. Oh, we put an 89 and did not get filled there. Okay, okay. Oh, we did get filled. Okay, just took a minute to, I was like, I thought we got filled, but we did. Okay, so there it is, 89. Just took a second to get filled up on there as this continues to get new highs in the NASDAQ today. NASDAQ, wow, up 2.2%. What a crazy day. Again, like we thought that this move that we saw and we experienced into the close there on Friday on, volume started to pick up here as we got word. And we had this exact same trade. We also had Palantir on Friday. So we're on like a little bit of a heater here, a couple of days, going into the close on this closing show. But, just playing momentum to the upside, and having the ability to flip up your opinion, right? Like we were short early, right? And then we tried it there at VWAP, and then hopefully a little bit, of a professional move there, flipping it back over to the other side, because I'd before been like pretty stubborn and would wait for it to come back up here, short it again. But instead we just try to play with the momentum. Unique Trading Group, I don't know if you're here right now, but in the chat this morning, you were like, it's hard to trade when you're fighting the trend, and you were telling me like, be careful fighting this trend. And eventually we found it. But, at the end of the day, lost going there, made back going here, making now. So just watching out for that TQs. But we said that NVIDIA was already the #1 stock. And there it goes, man. And it just goes to show you, you basically don't need to do anything. Uh-oh. C3AI is considering a sale right now. I might go long on this name.
Who actually wants to own them?
Who knows, but... Okay, so nice little bump up there for C3AI. I mean, if they're going to sell, I don't even sure what these guys do right now. We've already talked about that, but there goes C3AI right now. Yes, NVIDIA, we get picked up there for $1.70 on that one. Wow, that is a banger for us on NVIDIA. But there's C3AI on rumors of take private. I'll give you guys one guess what Adara is going to say. Let's go over to Adara.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I have here, I just want to clarify, Reuters reporting here again that C3AI is considering a sale. We know their founder and CEO stepped aside earlier this year due to some health issues. Reuters now saying that after this CEO stepped aside, they are now considering a sale. So again, C3AI reportedly considering a sale, reported by Reuters. Back to Sean and Neil.
Shout out to Swamp Rat saying you called it out earlier on C3AI options. C3AI options flow doesn't lie, you say. Well, I can't say that I've looked at the options flow on C3AI, but sometimes,
Joe, I guess.
Sometimes you do see hints of that. I can tell you umpteen times you've seen that. Well, look at a buyout on day one, and it's like the options were saying that that was going to happen well before, because big deals, somebody knows. They don't just happen out of nowhere. They do weeks and months of work, and someone usually blows it by, taking a shot at it. How they don't get caught is beyond me. When you have gigantic options trades, like in the days leading up to like a massive deal that gets announced on a Monday, it should be easy to catch them. It's not really catching much of a bid at any prior highs here on C3AI. And ultimately, yeah, I guess it's cheap, but then who does want to buy them? Couldn't even speculate because I don't really understand well enough what they do. That's sort of the problem here. Like when we talk about things like Pinterest or Snapchat, you can make some educated guesses as to who might actually want to pick them up, or Peloton, but I don't know who'd even want C3 AI. You guys let us know. I'm very curious.
Probably private.
Yeah, maybe you get some private, and then I don't know what pieces you'd have to sell off, though. That's usually what they want to do. Like, what do they have to sell? Nothing.
All right. No, what's up to Genghis Capital here? I can try to find it. He's asking if we have a position board for leading here and whatnot. Oh, there it is. Here, I'll find it if I can. Do you have this thing always? Oh, you have it up there. Yeah, no. So all you can really do is ask us, you know, if we're positive or negative, or we talk about different shares and different stocks. Like we trade different shares. We trade individual stocks, not contracts. We don't do. I keep in my head CDRs, but that's not, Canadian Depository Receipts. What are some of those?
You're thinking about
people that don't trade actual stocks and they trade.
CFDs?
CFDs, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so we're not doing that, man.
About
we're actually trading stock, and we have the ability to trade Bitcoin and everything like that. So as Neil said, he traded 9 or 10 names today. I've only traded 4. And just reviewing, like there's Apple right there. There's Nvidia. I mean, I could tell you Nvidia's P&L number 1. For the whole show, if you want to know that much. SMR right here, we traded that quickly here today off $30, and then obviously the futures we were short and then into the long, right? And so the best thing to do is just kind of keep track yourself. You know, if you want to sort of know what's going on. But we will never really discuss too much about P&L or who's leading that way. But it's a good question, and you know, just keep watching every day, and you'll get a good idea of who's trading what and the styles and how it goes right now. But BMNR, I don't know, Abhishek, there about what's going on with BMNR. Well, we can have another look at it, but there's only 4 minutes now until the imbalances come through. So just trying to get out of some of these positions here. We have a BigBear AI possible bid coming in. That's 600,000 shares. So into earnings, there's a little bit of a boost
kind
up.
Of small, though.
Yeah. Trump said he's making a deal with India, we just heard in our ear. So be it. We're $2 right here. In the money here with the TQs, so that's going to be a good trade. Let me take out another piece. I mean, Nvidia right now is $200 pretty much. So to your point about the leaderboard and stuff like that, this is the thing, like $2 in the money for Nvidia and $2 for TQs. It's all about share sizing, right? And so you could either have 5 shares or 5,000 shares or 500 shares. Just trade the setups that you believe in, and like instead of me getting out there, I should have rebought the 50 period, which is what we were doing. But there it goes. Nvidia, nice move up. TQ's nice move up. Both are $2 in the money. I'm going to take another piece out right now, even on the TQs, because we are now moments away from those imbalances. And you'll see them move. If you haven't been with us before, we have less than 10% left on Nvidia, and the same here on the TQs as we start to make new highs. Will Nvidia break $200 today? That's the question that I'm asking. I'm not sure about that at all. There's David.
Oh, that's a good one, David. Appreciate it. You must have recently watched The Princess Bride to be dropping that one. If Jamie Dimon used rodents of unusual size versus cockroach analogy, I'd say, Jamie, sir, I don't think they exist. So again, it's a great, funny movie. Check it out if you haven't, but we appreciate you, David. Look, I'm watching BMNR for this close on the off chance. It's the off chance. But like to the point like Sean was making, the only thing that should matter to you, if you are trying to make money as a trader, if you are trying to get better, whatever trade you have your reason for getting in, your reason for getting out. Like some stocks are gonna be different. Like to me, I saw a scalp trade at one point in Intel. Like a breaking trend, pulling back into the higher low. I saw this wick. I'm gonna scalp here to that stop. And it's just like a tight range trade on Intel. It doesn't really matter. And ultimately, there's a million things that you could trade. Like for some people, and I know traders that are like this. We had a guy that was like this before. Like he would have crushed Cation because he liked halt trades. So he would try to get 50 cents on the halt up, and he would take almost all of it out on the reopen on the gap up. That was his style, to hold gap to gap, and not try to get that all the way back into a buck. I've canceled my order for the breakdown at $1 on this one. It looks like it wants to only go to the upside. So whatever happened here, obviously, this stock went to 30 cents and back to $1.20. Well, I think it was worth it to look for a breakdown because the risk reward is going to be good. Whether it happens or not, doesn't really matter. But to your point, all you can really do is try to have a style that you're consistent on that allows you to be consistent. You know, try to build, be consistent over weeks, months, like that kind of a thing. You know, if you can be positive 3 or 4 days out of a week, then you should be green on the week, and then you just extrapolate that forward. You know, and if you're positive 3 or 4 days of the week and are not positive on the week, then adjust your strategy a little bit. But you've got something to work off of. So you know, that's my advice to anybody. But with 90 seconds to go or less than that, for myself, really just looking to see if we get anything on BMNR after what we saw last week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm piecing more out of NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA, I was just kind of playing around with it possibly going to $200. At $200. We're long at 179.80 on a reload. We have double, we don't have double the shares, but we did put on double the position. When we reloaded it back in, we got out of what, half, put it back on, and here it goes with only seconds now until those imbalances. And by the way, it's not just NVIDIA, man, the whole market is starting to go HAM right now, ham, up to the upside. There's another out for us right there on the TQs as it just continues to climb higher and higher here, man. Man, do I like trading. And yeah, hopefully my daughter does have hockey tonight, and then maybe I won't go though to that and just chill at home and relax. I'm pretty tired. Went to the gym, did all this, but I'll still probably go. I'm off tomorrow morning. You'll be here with Obi. My kids are performing, and one is an MC at the Veterans Day or Remembrance Day Assembly. So here we go, man. It looks like NVIDIA might have got clapped to the downside a little bit right there. We have less than 5% left before all that is said and done, and here it goes right now. Intel with a nice buy. So that's probably shooting up, right? 4 million shares, 3 million shares. Upside for Intel if the charts load. No, nothing's happening there. Yeah, Palantir with a sell. So that's starting to hit. Oh, there's NVIDIA. I glanced right over it. So again, multiple outs up there. We have less than 5%. Well, we have exactly 5% left. So that's coming back in a little bit. We were going to use the 50-period moving average. This will, let me get out of, okay, now we have 6%. I put out 4% right there. Rivian with a buy, but that's not doing too much as well. So the market kind of just floating around right here. Not much going on. SMCI with a buy as well. But hey, man, just 4 names traded and well done here into the close. TQs, NVIDIA, SMR, we'll see if that can hold out for tomorrow. And then into the close, I don't know, we can go over this vote again. Let's just see what you guys all voted for here. SMR, Rigetti, CoreWeave, or BBAI. It looks like people forgetting, not really too concerned about Rocket Labs right there. Which will have the biggest move tomorrow? Rigetti, CoreWeave, BBAI, Rocket Labs. So get that vote in right now. 1,100 of you have voted, and it's pretty much a 3-way tie. I mean, 35% CoreWeave is winning, but you do have Rigetti at 30 and then BBAI at 24%. So should be a really exciting one. Join Adara and Neil as they'll have all of that here for you on the close. I'm back in tomorrow for the closing shows. I just won't be here for the open. So that'll be Obi, and then I'll be back in for 2 p.m. And hopefully we can find some more bangers like this.
That's the idea. And Roger, yeah, Beyond Me probably will move the most, but you know, we kind of put the names up there that are the most interesting.
I don't think it'll move the most.
It's a penny stock. It doesn't have to do anything to move 15%, unfortunately. That's sort of the idea. BMNR did not have an imbalance at all, so that's why no trade there. Literally thousands of shares, less than a couple thousand. But for too long, everybody, trading did mean risking your own money or not having enough to start out with. The fear of losing kept traders on the sidelines. That's all changing now because Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of those profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. So visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. I'm down with you on that. Discipline, consistency, and growth. Those are the things that you need as a trader. Just a quick update. I know we talked about the imbalances there. There was a big one on Intel. I wouldn't get too jazzed up about that. It tends to pair off pretty heavily, and usually an indication could be what it does when that imbalance comes out. Pretty much no move on 4 million buy imbalance there for Intel. And AMCR, that's nothing, WBD. So kind of a nothing burger. BMNR, pretty much nothing happened. But I think it's worth, you know, it's worthwhile. If a stock did it before, sometimes that's like the easy bet that it could do something, you know, pretty spectacular at the close again. We did see a couple of years ago, I remember like Tesla, it was like 4 out of 5 days one week, and then 3 or 4 days the following week at 3 o'clock. It had a buy program on it. Sometimes you see things like that, and you want to take advantage when you do. Because I can tell you, for a lot of traders, it's like that kind of a pattern could make a month if you're able to catch on to it. And so certainly someone was doing that, we believe, with BMNR, and that's why the opportunity is going to be there. PMAC, as far as I know, there is no news on Meta. It is, hey, it's finally moving a little bit, but I think I'm disappointed in Meta today. It's a little bit weaker than the market. When the market broke out the highs, it still never broke out the highs. Look, I recently dip bought Meta, but I'm allowed to be disappointed in the relative move that it just put in. I don't want, like, if it's depressed this much, when the market goes up, I'm expecting that it would do more than the market because it's been going down more than the market, so it should have more volatility. Dara, news?
Just keep an eye here on these health insurance names. Trump is speaking. This was supposed to be a swearing in for the ambassador of India. That swearing in ended. Now he's taking questions. He approves the shutdown deal, and he said that he will abide by the deal if it passes. But he added once again about healthcare that these health insurance names, or I guess they shouldn't be paid, that it should instead be, again, the people getting paid with regards to the care. Again here, Donald Trump having some qualms with the health insurance system and expressing them, saying that he's working with some individuals on that. Back to you.
Yeah, Oscar will close 17 down. Humana was down on this earlier.
Probably going lower on that news.
Oh, I would imagine so. They're the things that are at the low. Humana's down 5%. It's at its, not 52-week lows, they're just looking at the chart. It's at its local bottom and breaking it as we speak. So Humana breaking down. I would imagine UNH is probably getting destroyed. Oh.
No, it wasn't that bad, no.
Okay, that's a little weird. Why is UNH only down 1%? What makes them unique here? Nothing. It could, maybe there's buyers at the same area again on UNH. I've been waiting for a test of 300 to consider getting back in, but the reason I don't love getting back into this one for a swing is the difference before was the 300 was holding the 50-period moving average. Now it's under the 50-period moving average, which means it lost downtrend, failed the 200-period and lost the 50-period, so I don't like it as much, but for whatever reason, it's only down 1 point. It's not bad. Might be worth something. We'll look at it tomorrow, see how it rebounds. But I do think there's going to be a buying opportunity on those healthcare names, at least recently, at least soon. But you might have to give them a minute to react or recover from this news. The president doesn't seem to be on board right now. You don't want to be against him. That's the sort of thing.
That's for sure. We did take advantage of, so we have 1% left of each of these. TQ's just ripped up into there on the flip, so we got that. Now, well, you know what? This is actually breaking lower. I offered 77s. Okay, we're out. And then on Nvidia, same kind of ways, right? That's what I was like, holy shit, I don't know if you heard me, but there was a move at 55 up into 70, so we get out, and now we have 1% left as it's looking to break through. And once it does break this 199 area, then we will get out and just end the day, man. Exhausted here today. There's a lot of trading going through, and pretty happy to be doing it with you all live right now. Ethereum and BMNR still just, BMNR is having a great day. Ethereum's battling back as well, up 2.68%, down a little bit right now. Trump is talking about issuing that $2,000 over to everybody right now as a sort of a tariff check. We've seen those things happen in the past, obviously. Look at DraftKings. I think these could be a big beneficiary of putting more money into the people's hands. As like I said, you parlay that $2,000 into a bigger trade, and we can see if people go back to gambling. It is something that
they tend to.
Is very popular.
Just don't gamble on baseball.
Yeah, it'll be if court rule. I mean, he's talking about everything right now, so. Economic disaster if the court rules against.
Yeah, it's worth noting basically everything he said so far. He's already said either today or he said it yesterday on Truth Social. There is nothing new or groundbreaking that he's said yet.
Yeah, and the market's not really reacting.
No, we made a little bit of a topping, but you're up 2.25%. I think if there's a little bit of profit taking at the end of this, not necessarily the end of the world. ETH did have an okay day, but I'm still gonna like BMNR, right? ETHA, that seem right to you? That's a problem, BMNR. Like ETH bounced and trended up. BMNR trended to the downside. I'll let that one speak for itself. I don't own it. I have some ETH, but I'm more of a Bitcoin person. But you can't love that relationship. I remember when Strategy started to do that, it was a problem for a while for them. We'll see if that ends up being true about BMNR. Just be careful if you happen to be in this. You know, anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Everyone do your own thing. I don't like these treasury plays. My opinion's known.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
They are. All right, good trading today.
Yeah, good, thanks.
I'll meet you guys at the desk. We've got a lot of earnings. You guys tend to think that CoreWeave is going to be the biggest mover. I guess no one thinks Rocket Labs. We're going to find out in a few minutes.
We'll find out very, very soon with only 1 minute left now. Yeah, Trump talking about 1.5% inflation is where we're headed. So does the Feds cut more, I guess, in that situation? So that's good for what he's talking about. But the NASDAQ, everything will just wind up pretty high today, man. This is just the Qs, natural Qs. We're out of the TQQ trade. That was a pretty good trade. I mean, NVIDIA tomorrow, I got my eyes on you for 2 bills, man. There's the NASDAQ. What a successful day for that, man. Up 2 and a bit percentage points as well. ES up 1.6%. Look, I don't know what everyone's doing tonight, but whatever you are doing, thanks for watching us. Make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe. Right now, we only have, let me see what percent of people are unsubscribed, 21.4. So right now, 1 of every 5 of you, make sure you do hit the subscribe button. Get into the chat here again today. So, look, AMD, we have big earnings today. We talked about Rigetti. Let's see if what that's doing into the close here. Rigetti, CoreWeave. So Rigetti kind of making moves down. CoreWeave into the close with only 10 seconds now. Get your orders ready. Get flat if you are not. I better cancel some of my orders here as well okay, I'm good to go. Here we go, 5-4. This is brought to you by Origenics as we talked about the concussion market. Go find them, OGEN, O-G-E-N, on your NYSE marketplace. But okay, I got a little bit of a headache here. I just took another Tylenol. Thank you, KenView, for that. But yeah, iHeartMedia reporting a bunch of different names coming out very, very soon. And right now, I'm excited to see BigBear AI. We didn't buy this dip, but we're still in it. So we're going to wait to see what happens with BigBear AI. CoreWeave should be an exciting one. NVIDIA probably breaks if CoreWeave talks positively, does NVIDIA break $200 here in the after hours? Moments away from finding that all out. It's Adara. It's Neil. It's your market recap show, and it's starting right now. Check everyone tomorrow.
Thank you very much there. Whoa, for Sean. This chair literally like sank.
It did. It was really weird to watch.
I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here.
You did nothing, guys.
I didn't have that many cookies yesterday. What are you talking about? I had like 9 or 10 cookies during the Buffalo Bills loss. It is what it is. So hopefully... they were ginger snap cookies. I was eating away the pain. But it doesn't matter. Hopefully there is no pain for CoreWeave today. Plug Power is supposed to be the first earnings name off of the bat here on our market recap show. It's already starting to slide to the downside. It is not the biggest name, however. It is CoreWeave that is a little bit bigger, probably, as Sean mentioned, going to be one that is going to be on the watch for all the chip makers out there. Bit of a rebound. Which one do you have? Plug is out, and it is slightly lower right now. They're small move.
Yeah, so all I'm seeing here, their highlights, this is kind of a hilarious report, $177 million here in quarterly revenue. Now, apparently, their Gen Eco electrolyzer revenue was roughly $65 million for the quarter. That represents a 46% quarter-over-quarter increase. Now, I wish this graphic showed up better on screen. It looked way cooler on my monitor, but this is the CoreWeave revenue infographic. Again, I am sad that it looks this bad, truthfully, on the screen. But either way, here, CRWV, they are reporting earnings at 405. I have more details here on Plug Power, too. Sales, $177.055 million. That's a slight miss compared to $179.536 million expected. But Plug Power deal with a slightly narrower than expected loss per share, 12-cent loss versus 13-cent loss expected. So narrow EPS beat, sales miss, and again, CoreWeave, this is going to be what we're really waiting for here in addition to Rigetti and BigBear.
I would agree. That's a very small move to the downside, only a couple of points there for Plug, and probably losing out in terms of volatility to CleanSpark's offering. So CleanSpark announced a private offering of 1 billion convertible notes. That would account for the dollar drop that it just did from the close, down 8% now on the session for them. Not looking very good for CleanSpark. That's on an offering, not on earnings. Of course, we're going to be looking for CoreWeave. It's worth mentioning CoreWeave did not have the same pep in its step. When we saw at the end of the day, you had the Qs rally pretty much to the highs, closing almost adjacent to the highs. You had Nvidia rally, close very close to the top in that 200 level, pretty much upward trending the entirety of the day. And CoreWeave, who finds themselves adjacent to this space, although maybe not as fundamentally strong as some of the other AI names, it is going to be, I don't think it's a bellwether, but certainly you don't want it to fall all over itself. I tend to think like Nvidia should be wagging its tail and not this guy wagging Nvidia's tail, but it probably doesn't help the chip space if these guys absolutely get wrecked today. The percent move down we're expecting is 15. It did 21% last earnings, and it has not been that good of a go for CoreWeave recently. The recent bounce has only gotten it from like $100 into 110, which compared to a lot of other high-flying names or beaten-up names, they've done a lot better off the lows than CoreWeave has. So I think there's a lot at stake for them. Obviously, a lot at stake for a name like a Rigetti you mentioned as well. The quantum name, it's not going to be about the numbers, I don't think, for
Only
Rigetti.
seeing plug yet, guys. A lot of people
It's only plug
about names. I'm not seeing anything else.
Well, in terms of expectations, CoreWeave is expected 405. Rigetti is expected 405. BBAI is not expected till 415. ASTS and Rocket Lab, both of them are 415. So the first big names are expected to be at 405. That's why I mentioned you did have CleanSpark moving on an earnings move. You did have Plug Power slightly to the downside, but all eyes are going to be on CoreWeave here. And we have a lot of these earnings names that are coming out. They don't make a lot of money. So if there's going to be a theme here, you're not going to be blown away by revenues with anybody reporting tonight. You're certainly not going to be true of Rigetti.
Nope.
Certainly not going to be true of BBAI. Definitely not going to be true of ASTS or Rocket Labs. But it's about momentum for a lot of these stocks because they do have, most of them do have pretty decent short flow today.
Yeah, and tomorrow's big earnings play, which is Oklo, is also not revenue. So we've got a whole week where we really don't have a lot of like revenue-related names. What are we seeing here? I'm seeing a whole bunch of names scroll through. People are saying to me that Rocket Lab is out. Rocket Lab literally just posted on their X.
Yep.
Stay tuned for their report. So I don't see that one yet.
There was a small volume. There was a small volume spike on Rocket Lab. The earnings, there's no way the earnings are out. It barely moved. You can tell. I'm looking at the book right now. Rocket Lab is barely even moving. You can see there was a small spike on the chart, but if the earnings were out, it would be going ham. My level 2 is doing absolutely nothing right now, as you can see here. It would be going absolutely crazy. CoreWeave's still waiting on them. They're expected to be first. They are probably the one with the most interest in here, so this is what we're going to follow most closely. Oh, Rigetti's out?
Rigetti I do have, guys. So RGTI revenue, $1.9 million over the last 3 months. And guys, if you're wondering, hey, what were we expecting? What did they do last quarter? We have an infographic for that, as we often do on Trader TV Live or Trader TV Research. So smaller than expected loss per share. So slight beat there. They reported losses of 3 cents per share. I was seeing 5 cents, and analysts, I guess, are seeing 4 cents. Either way, better than expected loss per share. But you guys see that revenue estimate, right? 2.4 million. Apparently, Benzinga has 2.17 million. It doesn't matter, Neil, because either way they missed estimates. 1.947 million. According to their actual report, it says 1.9 million. Either way, this is a pretty notable revenue miss, though a very mild EPS beat.
And people say a lot about Palantir's valuation. Rigetti, 1.9 million in revenue. It's only a $10 billion market cap. Yeah.
No.
Yo, yeah. So, well, I hope some people rang the register on this one because we're losing the 50 period. It's actually only down a couple of points here. It's not like it's falling all over itself. That's the first thing to think about here. So yeah, that does not seem like a big revenue number. We've known this about the quantum names. They are a ridiculous long-term sort of upside play. There's a reason why this stock is almost cut in half from the highs and got a little bit frothy. But, let's be real. People were betting on this for exponential growth in the future at some point when you get some breakthroughs. And clearly that has not happened yet because they still have only less than 2 million in revenue. I cannot see that holding up too well, but the fact that it's not even double digits down, I'd say is almost a win because the expected move on here was, what do we expect, 13? 13% expected move, and it's absolutely nothing to the downside. CoreWeave's still yet to do anything.
I'm not seeing any report,
nothing
guys.
on CoreWeave
Sorry.
yet.
And BYND, because a lot of people are asking me about it.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so A, who knows if it's reporting? Because truthfully, I don't really trust BYND that much. They initially said November 11th. They announced it was confirmed. Then they said November 10th on their website. They randomly switched it on us. But they're still going to do the call tomorrow night, which is weird to report tonight and then do your call tomorrow night. But hey, that's just me. Either way, guys, doesn't matter because no matter what day they're reporting, they're set to report at 4:15 12:55 p.m. So the probabilities of us getting this before this show ends is unfortunately relatively low, I'm going to be honest with you. Trump talking about how travel will be much better when the government reopens. I'm going to be honest, a lot of what Trump is saying here today, and I can't even hear all of it perfectly, it's a lot of recycled sound bites. He just finished speaking. This India ambassador ceremony is now done, and they're kicking out the press.
Well, I can tell you, Adair, I saw this in the chat here, and I agree with Jay Lee in the chat. The real quantum plays are Alphabet and IBM, right? Like, and when I say real, I mean they're actually doing. While you hold on to the dream that there will be major breakthroughs, you actually have a company which is generating real income and generating real money. I say all that. It's one thing if you have these at the bottom. Like if you own Rigetti at, I don't know, like $7 or something really cheap, or like QBTS at like $1 or something like that, that's a different story. But if you're buying up here, it's certainly very risky. CoreWeave is now out. Will they be the biggest mover? So far, so good to the upside, trying to break out 110 here. Adair, tell me the good news.
Yeah, so it looks like here we had, apparently they delivered an exceptional Q3 according to their CEO, setting new records for revenue, almost doubling their revenue backlog to over $55 billion. Looks like 1.364 for revenue, so that would be up significantly, like 1.364 billion. Nice year-over-year increase. Operating expenses, though, are $1.312 billion. So, kind of yikesy. Operating income also is down year over year, which is also like maybe not the best. No. 51. Yeah, sorry. Again, these are like in thousands, so I'm trying to mental math it. So it looks like we've got roughly 500. Sorry, guys, my brain is broken right now. But either way, the point is operating income down year over year. That's not going to be a great look. Net loss, though, is smaller on a year over year basis. These are really all over the place numbers. I'm just waiting for the official, again, like the highlights and lowlights. I'm literally reading through the report as we speak. And I don't love when they they translate, oh, this is going to be in thousands or hundreds of thousands. I'm like, just give me the millions or the billions. Either way here, they did beat on revenue. Q3 revenue, 1.36 bill above estimates of 1.29 bill. Loss per share was 22 cents per share. Apparently that's smaller than estimates. So it looks like double beat here for CoreWeave. Those I mentioned, operating income year over year, based on the report I just read through, does look a little bit shoddy. Yeah,
BBAI is also out. I was just putting up in the chat. BBAI with a bit of a break, trying to get through $6. Their earnings are up, but with CoreWeave, it seems a little bit mixed at least. But you know, ultimately, if they beat top bottom, it's not gigantic beat on revenue, but a beat is a beat. It could not get through the high at 110. Still has a 50 period to contend with. So it seems like I'll call it disappointing because you were expecting a 14.5% move. And we went from 105.5 to, at the absolute best, 110. So you got about 5% to the upside and pulling back. That's disappointing. Actually, it's losing the bid as we speak. So we just broke through VWAP, just broke through the lows, at least the lows from the report. You're now at the low of the day there in CoreWeave and trying to bounce. A little bit of a buyer just came in at 103 at the actual intraday low. So CoreWeave with a big reversal. See, this is the problem. Like if you get that kind of a double beat here for CoreWeave, already beaten up, and it doesn't hold any of those gains, going to be a bit of a tipsy-turvy one. If this loses $100 tomorrow, that could be really, really nasty. But I did mention that BBAI was also out. BigBear, small spike. It tried to break through $6. Really nothing doing just yet. I didn't see the numbers. I just saw the volume spike.
As far as I can tell, they didn't even report.
They didn't report?
As far as I can tell.
Okay.
It's not on Benzinga, and nobody on X has anything on it. They're all saying they're just waiting and ready. So yeah, again, with CoreWeave, it does look like that double beat. BBAI, I quite literally do not have anything yet.
Sometimes people fat finger. You got to be, like, if you happen to be trading on earnings, then, you know, obviously you should be very, very careful. I can tell you, when waiting for a news event, one of the worst things you can do is get into position during the liquidity vacuum. That is earnings or an economic release. If you're waiting for that event to happen, I've seen that ruin traders. So be very, very careful doing it. BBAI was expected not until 4:15. So I'm not surprised it's not out yet, but I think someone might have fat fingered that one. Just to recap here on Mom Spaghetti Rigetti, it is back now through the low. So it's still trading down. Not a disaster. We were expecting a much bigger move, 13% expected move on Rigetti. So the good news is it's doing a small fraction of that to the downside, down 5.5%. 1.9, I think, well, we heard 1.9 million in sales. It's not about that number. If your valuation is 10 billion, it doesn't really matter that much. PSKY, I believe that is the name our friend in a few minutes is interested in talking about, and that's headed to the upside.
Yeah, thank you, Rivian Millionaire, for mentioning this one to me. I wasn't seeing it was post-report until 7, but it looks like they came out early a couple minutes ago, and it's not great. Let's be real. Q3 adjusted losses of, or sorry, not even adjusted, Q3 losses here of 12 cents per share versus a expected earnings here of 34 cents. It looks like an unexpected loss per share. Sales, $6.702 billion versus estimates of $6.973 billion. Looks like a double miss. PSKY guiding Q4 sales between $8.1 billion and $8.3 billion, above estimates of $8 billion. That could be a bright spot. Their fiscal 2026 guidance of $30 billion does miss estimates of $30.332 billion. And as I always say when we talk about Paramount, I really dislike the Paramount Plus user experience on apps, and I will continue to say that. Paramount, please get your life right.
Well, I know someone else who might have an opinion on it, and whether he does or not, we're going to ask him, because that's what we do. We've got our good friend, the NOS boss. It is a Monday, so let's bring him in for a little trader talk. Oh, my button didn't work. There he is. I usually have my perfect lead in and everything, and then the trader talk button there, Michael. But welcome. I'm not going to try hitting it again. Let's get right into it. Hope you had a fantastic day. We talked to you this morning, and well, there's a lot of earnings going on in names that don't have a lot of earnings.
Yeah, and it's funny, we get the important stuff, and then it seems like we get everything else, and then we get Nvidia. So it's like a sandwich of things we care about, a whole bunch of junk, and then something we care about at the end. So I think we're all just waiting for that at this point.
Can I jump right into one of those things? I know junk is a harsh word, but I was just we were just talking about Rigetti, which reported revenues of $1.9 million in a $10 billion company. And right now it's trading pretty much where it was before. So I think like a lot of times people try to have a hard time wrapping their head around the fundamentals of something like that. I think that's where traders like yourself come in, because you only look at the technicals. Is there anything on maybe in the quantum space in particular that you have seen recently? Because they've pulled back a lot, almost 50% from the highs.
Yeah, and that's one of the moments that it's good to have a wide look at these. Now, they are speculative names, and it's one of those you can't really do a lot with looking at the movement of any company like this and try to make any sense of it, right? I have a buddy of mine who's a physicist. I sat down with him over beers and I talked to him about it, and his thing was basically, we don't even know if these are possible to exist, but if they are, it will be cool, kind of thing, which is why it makes sense to look at them very technically. And Rigetti actually looks interesting, because this $32 area was the breakout point. We came back to that on Friday, put in a big hammer, and we're roughly there today. Now, what I will say is I don't like that the market was just screaming higher today with over 2% on the Qs, and Rigetti was down even before the open. So that worries me. That would, if I was a holder, that would kind of tell me that we might be rotating out of names like this and into maybe more quality names. Maybe people are looking for something else. And again, at some point, you got to imagine there's going to be some kind of tax loss or some tax selling to take place in some of these names with just insane years. So not something that I would touch personally, because they're just up too much. But if this 32 ended up holding for a couple days or a week, maybe it's a decent place to take a little bit of a shot with a really tight risk.
There's another one that just reported right here, and that's going to be BBAI. Numbers are out. So we're going to quickly have Adara throw those numbers, and I have a question specifically about an indicator for that one.
Yeah, guys, I have a lot of earnings. I'll drop them all in the chat and go over them after. BBAI, their revenue did decline by 20% year over year. Their gross margin also contracted on a year-over-year basis, but whatever you say about that year-over-year decline, their sales still did beat estimates. 33.143 million versus estimates of 31.821 million. So nice beat regardless. Their losses here also narrower. Losses of 3 cents per share versus a 7-cent loss expected. And their guidance 125 to 140 million versus estimates of 133.527 million, more or less in line here for BBAI. We had GEMI as well. I'll drop those in the earning. It looks like ASTS just dropped earnings. So guys, be patient with me. I'll drop everything in the chat.
Rocket Lab's also headed to the upside. ASTS and Rocket Lab's both out there.
Rocket Lab members.
I wanted to ask you this very specifically about BBAI, because I'm a believer that if you're holding a technical level, then you should care about that indicator. This is now, and ultimately it doesn't matter beat or not, it didn't look like it was going to be good for them. and it bounced clean off the 200 period, which it did all the way back in September, and it's been holding for the majority of this secondary move. I know you have some strategies that involve buying dips on upward trending stocks, but do you look at the moving averages as well in any of the strategies that you're deploying right now?
Moving averages, I think, are the best proxy, not so much for me to look at support or resistance, but as line in the sand, which you just have to draw at some point for what is an uptrend and what is a downtrend. So I was actually looking at this one, and the RSI is a great overbought, oversold indicator, again, used in conjunction with a lot of things, and it's getting to that oversold level. But yeah, I use especially the 200 period moving average and the 50 period moving average quite a bit as just a simple line in the sand to say, if it's above this, you can consider an uptrend. If it's below it, you can consider it a downtrend. And you would be shocked how well that works to filter out names that you probably don't want to be trading too much anyway, because you don't want to be buying dips and downtrends. So for example, one of my mean reversion setups is simply looking for an oversold short-term RSI, but then it has to be above a pretty intermediate term moving average, just to say, hey, I want to buy them when they're in uptrends. When the uptrend goes away, then it's time to go. It's time to go do something else. So this one's interesting, again, above that 200-day moving average, but with this short-term oversold rating, and just looking at the stock and seeing that this thing doesn't really run, but it seems to move kind of in waves. So this one might be a really good one to look at that, buying oversold, selling overbought kind of idea.
Yeah, speaking of those waves, I know Adara Rocket Labs is out 8%. This one is also out. Both this and ASTS are looking pretty good. If we can get those numbers quickly before jumping back to Michael.
Yeah, so Rocket Lab here is a double beat. Losses of 3 cents per share, better than the expected loss of 11 cents. Sales 155.05 million versus estimates of 151.745 million. Again, a double beat for RKLB. Sales are guiding between 170 and 180 million. The midpoint of that is going to beat estimates of $171.8 million. Now, ASTS was a very different story completely across the board because they actually had a double miss, Neil. So RKLB, double beat. ASTS, double miss. Losses of 45 cents per share, larger than the expected loss of 23 cents. Sales, 14.739 million versus estimates of 19.93 million expected. That's going to be, again, a double miss. They reaffirmed their second half revenue guidance, but I'm not seeing how that compares to estimates.
Well, I'll be happy for my brother on this one. My brother is kind of your neighbor, and he owns Rocket Lab over ASTS, and we literally had this conversation. We had a friend of his out in Halifax actually liked ASTS over Rocket Labs, and my brother's in that one. I'm like, I think you got the better one. That was just my humble opinion. But both of those names, they have decent short floats. This could be one where, look, RKLB, we've seen it rocket ship before, and it's only a 12% short float. But when you have a market like this where the dip gets kind of gobbled up, I just feel as if everyone that thought there was going to be a major correction, Michael, when we immediately find some buys and you get some fundamentals behind it, there's still enough shorts to cover on some of these names, but you have to sort of pick the wheat from the chaff for sure. Are there any, I know in your strategies you have this pullback on upward trending stocks. Are there any short float type of names that are on your radar for exactly this type of move, which I think Rocket Labs is capable of? Maybe like I know Rivian's been pretty strong the last couple of days. Anything stand out for you for a dip and a rip?
Yeah, Rivian is definitely interesting from a short float point of view. I think OpenDoor, I know that's another one, again, kind of fully discretionary, but this is an interesting one as well. I'm actually going to spend some time going into, I think, the healthcare space and trying to find some heavily short float names there as well, because it was interesting to me. We talk about it all the time, me and you, Neil. It's not the news, it's the reaction to the news. And we had all the news about, Trump being anti-healthcare companies this whole time. And then we saw some amazing moves in like Lilly, and UNH even held its low here. So I wonder if a lot of this is kind of baked in. And those to me are really interesting short squeeze plays where when that turn happens, it's, a beaten down stock that's just beaten down. The shorts have been right the entire time. And then just when it stops going down on bad news and starts reversing, that can sometimes be the moment in which it's like, okay, now everyone's on one side of the boat and they can no longer push it down. maybe it's time for something else to go. So that's where I'm going to be spending a lot of my time, is what is heavily shorted in the healthcare name that I could potentially buy a little dip on here.
So I'm going to throw a name out for you there just to give you a little bit of a suggestion, because it's the one I was looking at today. I took a nibble at it, 20% short float on Oscar, and it was trying to hold a 200 period moving average. Now you have to remember, though, there was that truth or post by the president who kind of negatively spoke about some of the healthcare names and how much money they made since the ACA. Or what their stock value since then. So the entire space took a bump to the downside, but that could give an opportunity. And again, 20% short float on Oscar. I don't know. It seems to have a pretty big cult following as well. I don't know if that one's come up in your examinations of the space.
It has. Now, ideally, I would like some relative strength, which is why I kind of mentioned UNH, even though it doesn't have a high short float. But you can see I already have this marked up. I was actually looking at this one today, too, because it was hard not to miss it. I think it was down like 15% or something at some point. So a couple interesting points here. One of it is this is the anchored VWAP from the IPO price. So the idea is that, we'll just remove this one for now, is this is the average price of everybody who's been dollar cost averaging into Oscar this entire time, from $30 down to $2 and back to $30. This is their average price. And it's really interesting to see how it's respected this level over and over and over again, from, you know, it being resistance back here to support just recently. And it came down like almost to the tick today, like within just a couple cents of this zone. So I am interesting. I'm not one that really is into catching these kind of falling knives unless I have an algorithm telling me to, just because it's down, you know, 40% in roughly a month. But I totally see what you're looking at. If it's going to hold this anchored VWAP, it could get a pretty nasty bounce here from there. That would be interesting. I know I brought this one to you guys because the long-term chart, I love it over 24. We're at 14 right now. So it may be a place for me to take a nibble if we can find some strength tomorrow and start rallying. But for full position on this one I need to see it all the way over 24, which looks like we might be weeks or months out, even if we decide to turn right here.
Yeah, always one you can put in your back pocket. And I think someone in the chat actually said, have a look at ACHC in healthcare. One, I'm not that familiar with Acadia Healthcare, but I'll throw that one out there for you, Michael, if you're going to be musing, because, hey, you never know. We'll throw you some names. We try to get some ideas, and then maybe you'll come on and have a great idea for us on one of those when you do your technical analysis. Before we get you out of here, we have some more earnings to talk about, but I wanted to make sure if there was a name that stuck out to you that we didn't have a chance to get to, you're like, ooh, I don't want to get out of here before talking about this. Is there something that's piqued your interest this week?
I only got one trigger so far from the swing trading side of things. And again, it's completely algorithmic. Myself and the people over at Stats Edge, we know on Sunday what we could potentially trade, but obviously we don't know which ones will hit the trigger. And I'd say on average, usually we get 4 or 5 different plays to look at on Monday, and then maybe a couple sprinkled throughout the week. But we only had one today. And that's interesting, especially considering the big move in the overall market. So I figured I would highlight this one to you guys as well as I did on my YouTube channel. And this is as kind of nice and tight of a bull flag as you could possibly get. This is WCC. I have no idea what the company is or what the company does, but just to tell you what this algorithm's looking for is a big volume spike up, which is what we saw. This giant green candle was because of earnings, and then some sideways consolidation that doesn't give much back after that move higher. And that could be demonstration that there are buyers that are taking place in this name. And we simply are looking for a continuation breakout, a hold until next Monday. Definitely wrong if it gets back under 250. But this one looks really interesting, although I have no idea what it does. It says wholesale distribution here. So probably not the most interesting stock in the world, but really, really nice bull flag there.
Well, that's all right, because traders trade the price action, not the name of the company. Investing is where you need to know the name. Well, you should know the name of the company anyways, but thank you for your insight, not just on some of the movers that are moving on earnings tonight, but a couple of other names that we're able to throw at you. And we'll check back in at the end of the week on some of those names. Our good friend Michael Noss over at Stats Edge, our resident CMT. Have a fantastic week, Michael.
You too. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, take care. Oh, my button's not working. We'll get out of here on that. But you know what is still moving, Adair? It's BBAI. It's a clean, well, it was 15%, but Clean move off the 200 period. It looks like they're going to win in terms of, I don't want to give it, make it too early, but it seems like BBI is going to win on the percent move here. 13% for them to the upside. You've got CoreWeave doing literally nothing, everybody. It tried to go up, didn't. Tried to break the low, didn't. Now it's basically flat, maybe slightly to the downside here for CoreWeave. Nothing too crazy. Plug was a little bit of a nothing burger as well in terms of movement.
TeraWulf was a double miss.
TeraWulf double miss, yuck.
No BYND yet.
No, Rigetti's pretty, for 3% down for Rigetti is not that bad.
No.
I think that was a little bit of a disappointing move. And then Rocket Lab tried its best to beat out the move that we saw to the upside on BBAI. It was double digits, now only 8% to the upside for Rocket Labs on their beat. ASTS was that double miss, as you had mentioned. And it was a good point made in the chat. As actually, ASTS is now back to green. So getting a lot of that move back. A good point got made in the chat. I was sort of like, I'm messing around. Like when I talked about my brother owns Rocket Lab and he has a friend that owns ASTS. I'm like, Rocket Lab's doing better. I happen to have a small preference between the two. But the thing about, that's the good thing about, you know, investing or even trading. Like both of those are probably going to be just fine in the long term and have a lot of upside potential. But when you're looking at a trade, sometimes one chart just looks a little better than the other. And that's sort of, a lot of times for a trader, that's where the mentality comes in. You might just prefer it because of the chart. ASTS, good look for it to get back green on that double miss. Something they must have liked about it, although the short flow could also be a bit of the reason why it's bouncing here.
Yeah, ASTS, decent short float, lots of retail attention. This is what a lot of people in the chat were asking me about. But again, double miss. I do want to talk here about BBAI.
Yes.
This is BigBear AI CEO Kevin Michalinin, who I always like to mention. He's actually involved in Trump 1.0, like the administration. So there are some potential ties there. And I think if you're going to be working with a company that has government deals that you want, that is not necessarily a bad connection to have. But yeah, again, BBAI, despite a 20% year-over-year decline in sales, still beat estimates 33.143 million versus 31.821 million expected. Again, sometimes the revenue estimates I have are going to be a little bit off from the ones the street runs with, but either way, we beat estimates. We also beat estimates here on losses per share and guidance relatively in line for fiscal 2025 sales. Plus, Neil, they announced a $250 million acquisition of Sage, or Ask Sage, apparently.
Okay, why not? And that is a $2.5 billion company with at least a few hundred million. Just to give you an idea, like BBAI is 1/4 of the market cap of Rigetti, and their revenues are, what is that, like 60 times? 60 times the revenue, 1/4 the size. And this is 15% to the upside. Rigetti doing absolutely nothing, but it's a wild one here. I know you can't make that math work, but the quantum names are not about rationality. It was about momentum with those. And we've been over it time and time again. I am going to repeat it. If you want to feel safe in quantum, then just buy Google. They make a bunch of money doing other stuff. And buy IBM. They make a bunch of money doing other stuff. And you will have some explosive upside. Maybe not the same thing as a pie in the sky dream, but a lot of people that are pumping some of these other quantum names are long when Rigetti was like $7, or long QBTS when it was like $1. Right? And they don't necessarily, they've made so much money on it now, they don't have to chase these highs. So you have to be a little bit careful when it comes to these. That's the theme for a lot of the earnings that we got today. As said, we get a lot of the big names, and then we're waiting for Nvidia. You get a little smaller ones here today. I would say CoreWeave was a bit of a disappointment in terms of how much it moved, but ultimately, it doesn't matter expectation. I was never particularly bullish on this name. I think you got to own Nvidia instead. CoreWeave now red on the session after a slight move to the upside initially. It's seemingly going to be a small cap movers kind of day tomorrow, which we're lined up for, especially given the types of short floats on some of the names that reported tonight. But before we even get to that, we got to get to the roll call, which you know is always super hot fire with Adara. Make sure you jump in the chat, give Adara a big shout out and say, get it, Adara, because when it's busy earnings, no one is busier than Adara. So whether you thank someone on the team, Fabian, Ramin, Andre, my man Sean, Brendo, the Midday Boys, Joe, Sharif, Obi, who's filling in for Sean in the morning, make sure you drop a get it, Adara, because she's always killing it during earnings.
Yeah, thank you guys. Definitely check out X at TTV Research too. I posted really quick, brief earnings summaries for BBAI, RGTI, and CRWV already. Those are already out. I'm going to do larger recaps tomorrow. BYND, the elephant in the room, or I guess the fake elephant in the room. I don't have those earnings yet, but if I get them before the open tomorrow, I promise you all I will make an earnings recap for X at TTV Research. And yes, I will continue to plug the account because we do some cool stuff on there, and you guys check it out. We're going to take a moment to thank people here. Byron Hart, Big 40 Nephew, Andrew Chow, Vince Jane. We've got Mr. Easy Street, Lee the Conductor, Roger Noonan. We've got D. Westermeyer, TJ Morty, Siesta Mike, Michael Spadafora, Eli 7721. We've got Dangerous, 1965 Vintage, Fresh Trades, Dinkelberg, David Treziak, Whatnot, Adrenaline Angles, Hinsey, JC, Calicat, One Life to Live Together, Joseph Schmo, Derek Thompson, Marie, Roadrunner, TJ Morty, Get Here, Wow. We've got Marikes 100 and T-Man. I want to thank Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe. We've got Baby and Ramin, Andre, Brendan. We have everybody here working behind the scenes. Rob, Mark, Russell, Randy, everybody you see, everybody you don't see. And also thank you people in the chat for validating me when I talk about the Paramount Plus problems, because they exist. So thank you the people in the chat who did shout me out and say they've had the same problem. Appreciate it, and I'm always so grateful for this awesome community. I hope you guys had an awesome trading day and you're ready to tackle these markets tomorrow, because we certainly are.
That's what it's all about, Adair. We're tackling it every single day, not just the trades, but the news live. And hey, guess what? If you're tired now because of all the action, well, it's going to be even crazier. It's just the start of the week. We got to get up bright and early tomorrow morning. We are Trader TV Live. This has been the Market Recap Show, brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX. We'll see you at 8:30 in the morning, where we'll go over even more earnings and more movement. See you then.
See you guys.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, the desk is so...